Hello, everyone. It's more CPL preseason action with me, Saetzero, and my buddy Neblime. How you doing?
Pretty good. Welcome back, Saetzero. You missed the TVT action yesterday. You must be sad.
Uh, yeah, sure. That's what it is. Sad's the emotion we're looking for on that one.
You can hear the tears in his voice.
Yeah. Well, speaking of hearing the anything in any voice, if the chat could let us know if the audio sounds good, if I mysteriously messed up my settings, or if it's just Neblime being Neblime. That'd be good, but we're going to get into some Group 13, Group 17, a little bit on that lower end, but definitely some names I recognize from the CPL history without too much issues. So I'm very excited to watch some of these games. And I didn't scan for this way, but there's no TVT in it. I didn't try to make that happen, but it happened.
Give the people what they want. I'm part of the people, aren't I? I'm a people.
Are you a people?
Sure.
I don't know. I think you're some kind of SimCity robot.
Oh dear. If you see my late game based layout, you'll know what it is. And I was saying on the cast the other day, like, my early game SimCity is S rank, but after, Zealots stop existing, it's terrible.
Well, good thing Zealots never stop existing. They just get better and better.
That's true, actually. They just get stronger. Time is on, that's right.
Before we get into the games, early on, as we shill things, as we always do, but since this weekend is rolling up real fast, we got some events happening this weekend. You want to tell anyone about them, Neblime?
Yeah, we have the team reveal on Sunday, which is extremely exciting, and I believe we also have a coach show match, is that right?
Yeah, we got that on Saturday as well. It's going to be me and Cole it's casting that, and the team reveal, as tradition, I believe is going to have Age hosting us with a couple of members of the CPL staff talking about the map pool, the teams, trying to maybe the coaches, maybe a little bit of everything. It's always a good time. Both of those should be in the afternoon of USA time, so that way it's reasonably late night for EU. They can watch. It's going to be early morning for you guys in Australia. You can watch. Make sure everyone can hang out this weekend.
Yeah, I might actually catch it for once. That'd be great.
Hey, last season we did it at that same kind of time slot too. If you missed it, that's your fault.
Wow. Well, sometimes people got to work on the weekend. It pays more money. But, I might be there, and all of you in chat should be there. You have no excuse.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to make sure everyone's around. It's going to be exciting to find out how we're going to start off the next season of CPL. Always a good time. But let's start off our next game that's being cast of CPL. We're going to start with some Group 13 action with, I believe, some names that we should recognize from CPL's past. Right after I fix the overlay, we're in there. See, I'm paying attention. We're good. In the top right, in the yellow Terran, it's MG.QUEEN. And in the bottom left, in the teal Protoss, it's ARCANEWINDS.
So you're leaving them olive and teal? You're not going to take advantage of the top versus bottom today?
These colors are legally distinct enough. I think we can go for around this one. It's not the dark blue versus slightly less dark blue. It's not the black versus gray. I think we're okay on this one.
Fair enough. Well, as you said, there's definitely two names you recognize in CPL. ARCANEWINDS and QUEEN both been around for a while for sure. I always see QUEEN hosting King of the Hill games and such. So very active there.
Yeah, especially the if you enjoy AR King of the Tiers things, which we do have one of those, not this weekend coming up, but the following weekend. That is usually Specialist, aka endearingly called Pete, and QUEEN usually set that up. So if you enjoy playing in those, make sure to give her a thanks next time you get a chance.
I'm praying that it happens again, that I can win that by playing TVT only, because that was perfect for me.
Oh lord, yeah, I everyone else is probably not thrilled about that, but you were having a great time. And we got a wall on the low ground here on Eclipse, the Week 2 map, as we have seen plenty of times, and we're going to keep seeing. Nothing wrong with Eclipse, though.
Well, as I learned yesterday, it's actually not tied at the top. You have to put an SCV to block here. Now, I mean, it still would be reasonable, unless this depot's placed different to the other game, but I don't believe it is. Oh, look at that. The barracks going down there, so you're not going to fully wall this. This says to me, you're just going for a Rex FE, you're not trying to full wall this, and this is just trying to help you out. But I have to say, if it was Proxy Zealots, it would be kind of rough, because that's just Marine tight. You don't have a spot to micro back and forth. It kind of just blocks a little. This is going to be helpful versus Goons, but it's a bit far forward, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Luckily, ARCANEWINDS not going for a proxy, though, because honestly, if ARCANEWINDS going for a proxy, I'd already be going oh god, Queen's going to die.
Well, you said Rex FE, but the gas is being taken, so not quite.
Oh, well, now I really don't understand why you would put this down here. Again, if it's a proxy, you're just making it harder for yourself to survive.
Yeah, I mean, it is preseason. Maybe you're playing that mind game. It's like a lot of people don't cheese preseason, right? Which, I mean, that is historically true, but I think we've seen more of it this season than we have in the past. Actually.
That's probably true. For preseason anyway, obviously the playoffs tend to be the cheesiest. The thing is, like, Eclipse is a good map for it, though, because there's, like, multiple spots you could proxy. It's 2 players, so you know where your opponent is, so it just seems dicey, you know? I guess one advantage of this, if your opponent just wanted to gas steal, you'd see the probe coming in way early, but at the same time, you spent the minerals kind of sending the SCV down there, so you might not be able to afford your gases fast. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons I don't like this, but I don't think ARCANEWINDS actually may have capitalized on it in this case. Queen's SCV briefly going after that cyber core.
I wonder if that actually is part of it. That it's like, if the gas steal is going to happen, you just let it happen. You're already kind of set up for the Rax FE.
That's a good point, but even so, it's still not the ideal setup for blocking zealots. Okay, now this Rax is going to land. But, I mean, like I was saying, if you want to put it like this, why not just put the... Oh, it's a bunker, I see. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, Arcane trying to get the scouting if they can. First factory on the way. And Queen, as much as I remember, historically, I would make a lot of jokes. We'll see if they want a 2-fact. They did, in the past, do 2-fact pretty often, enough where the jokes were justified. But I don't know if that style is still accurate.
The amount of gas being mined, I mean, says I want a 2-fact, to be honest. The thing is, it's not very good on this map, I have to say. The map layout really suits Protoss for defending that. Now, this probe is still alive. I know Queen's just waiting for this probe to die. I'm not sure what the go is, but the SCV is in position to stop to build the command center, right? So maybe this gas mine is just a mistake. I think Queen is tending to expand here, but honestly, the amount of gas mined has really slowed down the CC. It's a bit unfortunate here.
That could be useful if there's a plan to go for some later tech or an earlier push, maybe utilize the gas in some form.
Well, ARCANEWINDS is not going for later tech.
Yeah,
they want tech now.
Yeah, that's a very interesting, very quick robo, and pretty far away from the ramp, you know. So that way you can, if a scout does sneak in, it's gonna be a little bit harder to go and see that. Still on 1 gateway production as well, so I'm a little curious to see what this is gonna end up being. But either, like, regardless of what it ends up, it needs to work, right? Like, if you're gonna delay your Nexus this much, like, you gotta do something.
Yeah, and despite, like, economic problems, Queen's CC is not too bad of a timing at all. So it must be a Reaver, right? If it's not a Reaver, I'm just sitting here going, what are you doing, ARCANEWINDS? So I'm fully expecting that to come out. And that could be pretty dangerous for Queen being, like, locked in here with no scouting. Look at no areas coming up. Now, Siegemen and tanks are coming up, and that is what you're going to need against the Reaver here. Look at that probe. He's ready to build support bay. He's waiting for it.
Well, so you can be ready to build it all you want. That's not what you want to do. You want to build the shuttle first, and let that build a little bit. Then get the support bay.
That is true, and yeah, we don't see ARCANEWINDS even getting that yet. Well, who knows? Maybe they want to get shuttle speed and come with the Reaver a little later. I'm trying to justify this, man. I'm doing my best. Okay, there goes the shuttle. Yeah, because that support bay, is that built faster than a cannon or what? Does anything build faster than a cannon when Hydras are at your base?
Everything builds faster than a cannon when Hydras are at your base.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is just, we'll see what it ends up being. Oh, this actually, I guess a fast support would make sense if you're getting the faster shuttle movement. You need a lot of time to get that going.
So the Reaver will be a little late, and the Protoss won't want to come and attack here until shuttle speed is done. Doing a little poke on the bunker, just confirming what's going on. Sees that siege red. That is important, actually, because if you don't see a tank and or siege red there, you're thinking, is it a drop? Like, what's going on here? And if Terran has a starport, of course, they can deflect the Reaver much more easily.
Yeah, I'm actually a little curious, because you had 3 goons there. It's seeing that tank as far forward as it is. I think you could have gone for it. If you really wanted to be bold, you could have.
Saetzero, have you ever played a game where you're thinking like, yeah, I can bust this Terran, you're attacking, all your goons die, and you kill like 2 SCVs for it? Because that's what would have happened if you did that. Because look at how this wall is set up. It's very hard for the goons to actually get close enough for that tank. And they'll cop a lot of marine fire. I don't think it would actually work out as well as you might think. Because the thing is, 2 of the goons would run forward, start shooting. The other 2 would start like freaking out and running back and forth in the bunker.
Yeah, Goon AI. That does make some sense. We are seeing Nexus getting started down a lot later than we were expecting, but with the Reaver about to finish now, their opportunity for us could be there. And with the fast support bay, like, that shuttle movement will be done at a relevant time. Even though the E-bay is done, we're seeing some turrets up at the front to stop DTs. Queen's got to be paying a lot of attention, or this could be pretty bad. The turret is being put near the middle line in the main, but Reavers can easily play around that.
Yeah, this is like the hedging budget turret you get when you're like, well, I don't think anything's happening. I was trying to be safe. Just put 1 in the main. tank is coming up. It looks like it's in the siege. Yeah, Queen's just sitting here fully siege. It's gonna be hard to respond to this. You really need like a tank and marines kind of just chilling in the main ready. Well, there's 2 more tanks out. It all depends on the reaction speed, to be honest. Oh man, this thing's gonna come in fast.
Well, when it's ready to. Like, listen, there's a little performance anxiety. You gotta make sure the shuttle, the pilot is ready to go. All the zealots and reavers aboard, or everyone's on the same page. But here comes that move right across the top side. There's no scouting buildings, nothing to give you any extra time. But there is that first turret, dropping some zealots, drops the reaver as well. Ooh. But the shuttle is gonna die. So let's see how much damage gets done.
The SCV's getting pulled, actually, not too much damage being done yet. Tanks are available, not moving back yet. Okay, pulling the SCVs first, probably the right decision. And yeah, see now this tank, oh my god, these tanks are stacked. You don't want the Reaver to hit that. Reaver taking some good damage already, it's already halfway down. That SCV, is he a hero? No, he's not. Oh dear. He wanted to be a hero, but unfortunately it was not his day. But the Zealots just fighting on their own, getting destroyed, and the Reaver gets taken out for really minimal damage here. I think Queen's looking pretty good after defending it like that. Having lost the shuttle and the Reaver, that's pretty expensive for Protoss, especially having got shuttle speed.
Yeah. Like, as the attack didn't go great, but at least, like, we could say, like, positive things about what Protoss did going in there. Seeing it that it's all tanks, you don't have to worry about, like, a lot of vultures immediately taking all that map control or anything like that. They've been doing good keeping up with their workers, despite how late that Nexus was. And adding on gateways now, so at least a very clear, I want to do this next step from ARCANEWINDS. So happy to see that. Upset to see you get shuttle speed and then just not pay attention to the shuttle. That's like some crap I would do. And if I would do it, don't do it.
Well, yeah, strategically, I don't mind what ARCANEWINDS did at all, definitely. It's just that, yeah, you really got to try and keep that shuttle alive because you have so much more micro options in that case. Now, Citadel coming up right away here. I assume ARCANEWINDS is going to go for Storm here, using the speed shuttles to drop Templars. I imagine that's the idea. I'd be surprised if we see a big gateway bust, because honestly, I don't think that would work. That said, Queen is moving out here, although I don't know if she intends to push across the map, or if this is just to get a third, or what's going on with this.
Well, I think you poke around and see how many units you're dealing with. There's a lot of tanks, a lot of muscle, even pulling some SCVs.
Yeah, I don't know about this. Pushing across the map like this, I'm not a fan, to be honest. Yeah, you just killed a Reaver, so your new opponent has less, but I mean, there's already 5 gateways up. I don't think this is really going to work out. And look, the backstab's coming in. Mine's only just finished, and none was set up. Okay, well, the backstab not coming in so much as the flank, which might be equally deadly, although right now tanks outnumber goons, which is usually a good equation for the Terran. Well, guess we'll see what happens. Maybe Queen's just going to win with this kind of pure tank unsieged. Just get in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of muscle coming through here, and I think during this, Arcane's macro starting to fall off a little bit. There's a gap in the unit production. Dragoons coming from the backside, but everything in the field already gets cleaned up. Every tank's still alive, although some have taken damage. Finally, one goes down. Sieging the front now at this point. And the 4 that are on the map catching reinforcements, but still, that's a lot of muscle in the front, even building turrets. If Queen can take out this Nexus, it's going to be a big problem.
Yeah, Zealot speed did not start even though the Citadel's finished, so Citadel is actually just like a sink of money right now for the Protoss. But yeah, if ARCANEWINDS can load up another shuttle or just even drop slow Zealots around the side, because you could easily maneuver around that single turret. But, oh, so many probes have fallen. ARCANEWINDS did not save the probes, so actually this kind of already done enough damage to make it worthwhile. GG. Wow. Tell you what, if I tried that in a ladder game after I killed the Reaver, it'd be like there's 16 DTs in my army or something. It just would not work out, I promise you.
I think I know that feeling all too well, where it's like, all right, I just need a little time. It's gonna be fine, no big deal. All the tanks, like, ah, crap.
Yeah. Well, you know, Queen embracing the principle of just go kill him, right?
Yeah, nothing wrong with doing that. Especially, I think especially a lot of Terrans that complain about Protoss and stuff. It's like, oh, Arbiter's so ridiculous. Like, well, why don't you try something a little more aggressive? Maybe it doesn't get to that point.
Well, you know, losing that shuttle and Reaver is obviously a big loss for the Protoss army, because Protoss invested so many resources, and I guess Queen identified correctly that there was not much else being made.
Yeah, and especially like including the 2 Zealots, like that is just so much supply immediately wiped off the map for not enough, sadly. But hey, we'll get into our next game. We got some more players introduced from Group 13 in the top right. In the purple Zerg, it's Nom Elevation. And in the bottom left in the red Protoss, it's FINALSKY.
Alright, of course the typical matchup of CPL has to emerge. PvZ. I promise you, CPL is all PvZ.
Is that why I'm not playing this season? Did I foresee the future? And I was just like, you know what, I'm having none of it this time.
Well, I mean, how painful is it? You know, I know I know Ling's getting past your wall and Hydro Busts are painful, but when you get to the late game, it's kind of fun, isn't it? For Protoss?
So I have fun. I play a little more aggressive in the mid game than probably most players want to, and I probably would recommend. I have fun playing whack-a-mole, where it's like, I got 2 bases, you got 3. I'm just going to make sure you don't get 4. Yeah, you don't get 4. So that's like the mid game I end up getting to.
I like that 2-base pairing style for sure. You know, I wonder if we'll see this like 4-hatch before layer play again, because that's been super popular among the higher tier players here in CPL. I think I've only seen like 3-hatch Spire one time, so we'll see if it filters down here in elevations and go for that kind of thing as well. The workers cross.
Yeah, I think I saw a comment in the chat like with the groups, these are a little bit lower end, but probably around tier 2, if I was gonna guess, right? So not like people that like we're not talking with the fresh, the new blood entirely. FINALSKY looking like they're gonna make that choice. What is the wall gonna be? Seems like it's gonna be a forge from where that probe is, and it indeed is.
Okay, I did see Gateway expand yesterday one time, so it does still exist.
Yeah, it's so stable, it's so easy, and a gas steal. That's interesting.
So yeah, if Zerg is just going for 4-hatch before layer here, then they're just like, okay,
you got it.
That's Minerals Protoss and have Protoss delaying their Nexus and or their cannon here. That said, wait, there's no pool.
There is no pool. So
on the one hand, that makes this gas steal even worse, because what's Zerg gonna do without? The probe is just going home. This probe is not doing its job. He just phoned in. He came in. He put down a gas steal, and he shows back up. And all the other probes like, wait, why are you back so soon? He's like, they sent me home early. You know, they said, you know, they weren't building any hatcheries today. But this third is going to go down.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this forge, this gateway, no nexus. Here's a cannon. There's no pool. You see it building with the assimilator. You don't need the. So unfortunately,
it's a little hard out, but not for really any reason. It just runs away in the end. But yeah, Zerg honestly is going to be way ahead here because Protoss has just like built all this unnecessary stuff, not to mention the assimilator. And Zerg going to take this third base unimpeded whatsoever.
Yeah, this is just a terrible spot to be in. Because at least, like, let's say when you're playing with, like, you gas steal against Terran, right? They need the gas early. They don't function well without it. And if you got Marines... Oh, it's Overlord. Please get out of that cannon.
No! Run away! It might be too late.
I think it is. That is heartbreaking. I consider making a Dragoon to kill that thing. I think about
Elevation knew it would survive. He just wanted to see a little further in here. It was all planned. All planned. Elevation, you know, has calculated the 4D chess. He knows what's going on.
Oh, Lord.
Still no Nexus. Gas being mined, no Cyber. We talked about this before, right? But you should never take gas without a Cyber or vice versa because you just literally can't do anything with it.
Well, I mean, with the forge available, you could at least work on an upgrade, but yeah, that's a very limited
Well, I tell you what, he better research Plasma Shields, the amount of gas he has. Because +1 weapons is not going to spend much of it.
I think he's got to research how to start that Nexus soon. Second cannon on the way. Lings are on the way, but with 2 Zealots made and already having a cannon, this is overly cautious in a way that's... Like, you can understand, like, some of the, like, I'm bad at this matchup, I just need to get through, I'll build that extra cannons, like, I always build one before the Nexus, like, I'm not even playing that game. I get all of those, for sure, but when you are building this cautious, and it's really, like, unless your plan is to just not get a Nexus, like, you gotta have some kind of plan to get the second base up, otherwise, as our economy gets completely out of control.
I'm thinking that is the plan, though. We're just going to go straight into Stargate. I would like to see double Stargate, to be honest, because there's so much gas and minerals. Okay, well, it looks like he's going to get the Nexus now. But yeah, it seems like FINALSKY all along did want to kind of fake out the Zerg, making them think they're going to expand or what have you, but I mean, I really don't think it's going to work out, because the Hydrogen is already halfway done. It's not like he's going to be going and killing every Overlord, and Zerg's going to have no answer for that. Zerg even getting double gas here, by the way, with no layer on the way yet, so the build's not going great on either side, I have to say.
Well, this...
Because I'm not sure...
Like, remember with the gas steal, I think this is just to catch up to where you wanted to be. So
okay,
a lot better for elevation to have 2 gas.
Look, I would say that's still not necessary though. Even though your gas got stolen, he took the gas at the natural pretty fast. You don't need double gas. He already has twice the gas he needs for a lair, which he hasn't started. Mind, hasn't started Hydra Speed or anything like that. And both players gonna have a very big gas bank here. We already see FINALSKY of 800, and like Zerg's under no obligation to go down this same terrible path, and yet they are.
I said it's more understandable. I didn't say it was good. I said I get it. It's like it's much more understandable. First Corsair is on the way, and we are seeing that lair getting started now. Even Team are just finishing. So actually, if there was a quick armor upgrade, they would actually beat the timing on the Zealots for the weapons, which would be pretty good for elevation. If they want to go that path, but we got a Hydra Den done. Lair's on the way. Still in 3 base, so we'll see if it ends up being a Spire reasonably soon, but. After, some unoptimization early on, I think everything looked pretty reasonable. And here's that Corsair going to kill out that Overlord that was trying to regen itself, but unfortunately not enough.
Yeah, so these Corsairs will come out and get a good scout at least. I don't see any Hydras out yet. So they might kill some more Overlords here. They're all just hanging out in the natural, not in very safe spots. And finally, this natural up for the Protoss. Going to finally start mining from that. 3 cannons set up already, so looking very defensive. Look at that, a Spore coming up. Well, it will be a Spore, I imagine, or are they going to be Sunkens?
Probably one of each.
So many creep colonies being made. Zerg's advantage, I feel like, is kind of slipping away right now with these things that they're doing. And, this Corsair is doing damage.
Yeah, there's a little bit of supply block early, back in the red now for elevation. They're going to be able to hunt them down. There's 1 Hydra here, but without even the upgrades. Or you just fly past the Overlord. You don't need to kill him.
Oh, well, they'll let that one live, tell the others.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing on both sides here is just some of these defenses are being made. Ooh. The ideas are fine. I don't hate the idea of let's build a sunken at that 3rd base up at the 12, right? This kind of stuff, but without thinking about where the game is now is completely unnecessary on how much defense is on both sides.
Yeah, and look, honestly, the SimCity at the 3rd is not really that helpful. You need to get that much more tucked in there. At any rate, the Sunkens will be useful ultimately, I suppose. Just there would have been more value in having drones for now. And look, like I was saying, both players have a huge gas bank here, taking that 2nd gas early. Lair is finished though. Look, I would like to see a Spire. Assuming you have this much gas, might as well just try it.
Yeah, just make all the Scourge. Get these Corsairs out of here.
Another cannon coming down. Still no Citadel here. 3 gates are going to be open soon. Oh, that's a lot of Corsairs, though. This is getting menacing for Zerg, for sure, even with their spores around the place.
We're getting a little Zell move out. It's clearing out some of those lings that are up at the front here. I'm surprised that just now the +1 ground weapon starts, so the opportunity for the Evo Chamber to beat with the armor was there, but even despite all the gas, neither player wanted to set any money into those upgrades. Hydra's being made, that Spire is on the way as well. I think it is just going to be for a bunch of Corsairs. Well,
FINALSKY's living up to his name. He's not plodding along the ground like a peasant. He's going in the sky. That's how he's going to defeat Zerg. He's flying around with these Corsairs here, and honestly, they look pretty scary. Look at those Overlords coming up there! Oh my gosh, if he finds those, he will kill all of them, I think. Because +1's about to finish. Oh, that other Corsair might be in for a bad time. Needs to micro that Corsair! Oh, straight into the Spore. Nope, nice, he keeps it alive. Well done there. Yeah, I mean, this is a very intimidating force for Zerg. He could probably still swing in and get those Overlords, but he will be conservative. And honestly, I feel like FINALSKY's doing a great job keeping these Corsairs alive. A lot of the time at this level, they just died, just running in all the time. So I'm quite pleased with the Corsair micro so far.
Are we going to completely ignore how much the macro is falling off for this Corsair micro?
I said I was pleased with the micro. I was pleased with the micro.
I am never pleased with the micro if it's at the cost of your macro. That's never good.
I'm not here to coach. I'm here, unless it's SimCity, I'm here to watch a cool game and be entertained. So if he's microing his Corsairs around, that's much more entertaining. But definitely, yeah, this 1500 minerals will probably lead to FINALSKY's defeat. It's true. But at least he will have killed a lot of Overlords in the process. There's just so many Hydras out right now. I'm pretty sure Elevation could actually come across and kill this wall and win the game right now if he was across the center of the map.
Yeah, definitely.
But there are a lot of Corsairs.
Yeah, range is on the way. Flyer carapace as well. So they're going to buy a little more time for the Overlords, I guess.
Yeah, that's all it is. Just buy some time in their final moments to extend their anguish. Ooh, some Scourge coming out here. Are they actually going to scout this probe down here? Wow. Star Sense. Oh, they barely see it.
That's hilarious.
Although I don't know if Elevation will have noticed that. But if he does, he can come down and deny this, no problem. There's no way Protoss can hold this position. I'd say the probe hasn't actually done anything yet.
Yeah, I am actually, all things considered, that there's not a lot going on other than the Corsairs were poking in here and there. Elevation is making good use of what his opponent's throwing at them, which is nothing, by making a ton of drones. Look at that, 40 drones, outnumbering these probe workers by a ton at this point. FINALSKY, despite having the bank, the economy is clearly in worse shape.
I'm pretty sure the Hydras outnumber the probes by a pretty wide margin for sure. Yeah, look, FINALSKY has his tricks. That's all he has. He has to like pull off a lot with his little special force Corsairs here because he doesn't really have any strength behind it. And the Hydra is going to come across now and smash these Zealots. I don't see what else is going to happen here. He has no Templars. He does have +1 weapons. Zerg's not having any Hydra upgrades just yet. But I don't know. I just don't think it's enough Zealots at any rate. If these Hydra do choose to engage, they do need to be all together though. If the Zealots can engage a few Hydras at a time, they will crush them. Which looks like all these Corsairs.
Yeah, a lot of Corsairs. A lot of the Overlords, they just barely missed. And when you have this many, you could even consider, like, there's a Spore, who cares? But, ooh, found a little bank. It's going to be fun. There's a couple Hydras here, but not enough.
The Hydras at the same time are engaging. No Zealot speed's out yet. So these Zealots kind of getting shredded, but he did kill a bunch of Overlords, so he can at least pause any reinforcements. And see, these Zealots, well, speed finishes just now, trading okay. Decent micro from Zerg, and the fact he can't be making more Hydra just now probably helps a lot. Okay, Corsairs do dive in on the Spore now. These Overlords in so much trouble. Oh my gosh, he's just deleting all of them.
He's taking a lot of damage on these Corsairs for this, though, but look at that. 62 out of 12. You're in the red forever at this point. Lurker aspect is being researched, nearing completion. 9 Overlords being made. So much money dumped into them because they had to be. And if you just reset things back to neutral, FINALSKY bought time to get that third Nexus up.
Well, here's the thing. You can't wolf Lurkers if you don't have any supply, so...
Hey, 9 Overlords on the way. Supply is coming. Don't worry.
There you go. And he does have Overlord speed now, so you know what? It was definitely a move for the Protoss when he was under the pump at his wall here.
Oh, no.
Overlord. Yeah, what's it doing? But, I don't know if it's enough, really. I think Zerg's in a good position. That's a lot of Lurkers! Oh my god.
Yes, that is a lot of Lurkers.
What am I seeing?
You're seeing what I like to call the... You're making Zealots, huh? Like, that is the plan. It's like, I see what you're making. I know just the guy.
I feel like this is some kind of like campaign mission where they're like, oh yes, these are the Zerg egg fields or all the Zerg hatch or something, is what we were looking at, just them. My god.
A little bit more of it reminds me of like those really old like Day 9 StarCraft 2 videos where it's like, listen, you're just gonna make Lurkers. Only Lurkers, and then see what happens. So we'll see where it goes. That base down at the bottom is known. A lot of Lurkers on the way. That's so many cans, though. I don't think you can try to attack that. Go for the natural.
Not with Lurkers, you can't. Lurkers cannot attack well into static defense. They kind of just get destroyed unless there's obscene numbers of them. Obviously, with Darkswarm, they laugh, but no Darkswarm right here. He's going to contain this base with no production. Oh boy, is it contained. Those cannons cannot move out and attack right now.
We got drop on the way. That's always like a power move when you got the
like
speed and everything. A lot of Zealots up in the front. Hydra's gonna poke forward,
oh,
but not
the Corsairs
near.
are still here.
Yeah.
Hang on, are they gonna go in? I thought they were gonna go in. Back to the actual fight that's happening. Sorry. Look at that.
Yeah, no, I'm keeping eyes, and he's actually being relatively active with all these. There's not that many Hydras. Buying time by making a Lurker. The sacrifice Lurker.
Oh, okay, the Corsairs go in. They're gonna get some revenge. Well, actually, wait, no. What am I saying? The Zerg is the one suffering in both cases. There goes that Overlord. Also still cruising. He keeps checking the main, but he has never found anything in here. Really just look at the natural, see how many Overlords are hanging out there. So let's hang around here. Oh, they walk into the Lurker field. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, both angles. Lots of Lurkers going in. The Zealots are a little bit trapped right now. But the Overlord's having the spread. Corsairs still trying to do big damage in the supply block, but lost a good amount of the Corsairs now. Hydra's doing some big damage. 4 survive at this point. Drop is halfway done. And Zerg is still noticeably up on supply, especially after all those Zealots got eaten there. We're getting Zealot drop with some slow shuttle. The Lurkers see it coming.
He may be up on supply, but he's certainly down on supply limit right now. What's in it? Just Zealots?
Just Zealots.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's so many Hydras here. I don't think this is going to do anything at all. If it was Storms, it would be deadly, but unfortunately not.
Yeah,
well,
so much gas available. Oh, here comes that. The skirt.
No!
So many skirt. Not a chance.
Oh my gosh, that was the most doomed shuttle. So yeah, I can't believe that these Lurkers down here turned out to be 4D chess, and somehow there was a fight with Zealots over there that got absolutely melted. Does Zerg even know about this base? Did he actually even see it, or did he just put his Lurkers in this location for no particular reason? Kind of seems like that.
It kind of seems like that, right?
Well, now he knows. Or does he? Okay, there you go, he runs them away. Now he knows. He might have known before, because it seemed like he kind of put them down here for a reason, I guess. No, he's going to check with a link, so I don't think he did know. Oh.
Well, he's also checking the 9 o'clock, thinking that might, or 3rd might have been, so... you know, always got to deal with those things.
They say an Overlord died to those cannons, so I guess he did see it.
Hey, I've lost units to stuff like cannons and not noticed it. Like, if it's just
It almost
rally,
happened at the
it's
start of the
super
game. Oh my god, the Protoss Special Forces are coming out. 5 DTs in production right now. Not that many Corsairs left to support them, but it might be enough. Now, I don't think Zerg is checking for a third base over there, actually. I think he has other plans.
Yeah, that could be that drop, but the Overlord... Yeah, the Overlords aren't in the position, though, but that would be a great angle to go into.
Oh, no, here come the Overlords. Sorry, my bad. But there's... Okay, there is stuff in them. They're about to demolish this base. That's a lot of Overlords, but I think most of them are empty. Still, it doesn't hurt to have some meat shields.
Yeah, you got... Honestly, when all the things is just stuff at the front, you could just put lurkers at the middle line and turn this base off forever. There's a little bit of fight outside the natural as well. Zelt's trying to run on over.
They have no detection. They're like, yes, we're going to kill the lurkers. Oh, wait. And they just ran away. Oh, and now these lurkers getting set up in the front. Is there even a robo for Protoss? There is, but no observatory as of yet.
Yeah, that row has been around for quite a while, too. Definitely a drop of the ball once you lose a bunch of stuff.
Oh, the lurkers.
And DTs.
Okay, he does save the probes at least, which is nice. That's a good job there. Oh my gosh, there's so many Overlords for these Corsairs to kill. But only, what, 4 Corsairs left? 3 Corsairs left? Damn, what happened to them?
They've been slowly whittled over time and not reinforced.
The DT's taking a lot of damage because the Zealots are hitting the Lurkers hitting the Zealots. Man, these Corsairs are low.
Yeah, hey, that armor plating coming in clutch right now. Finds so much extra time in these Overlords.
Well, actually, it probably sort of is. But yeah, like you said, that base shut down permanently. Storm's going down trying to pick off Lurkers here because there's still no detection. Once again, the observatory neglecting to be built. Where's the DT army? Did they get killed on or they're hanging out?
Yeah, they're just hanging out. I think there's just a lot of mind games of like battle lines and just bottom paths. Like, nah, we're not going to see what's going on, but no one gets to play in this path.
Yeah, a lot of money stacking up for both players here. Like, you know, the macro really not that strong for either player here. Is really hurting both of them. Now, Zerg is trying to address this problem. 3 more hatcheries coming up, but I feel like Protoss is very much stalled in what they're doing. No observatory, their gateways aren't even working. I feel like Protoss doesn't even know what to do right now. Well, the DT army is going to try and do something.
Yeah, there's so few gateways, especially for what was 3-base economy. Now that 3rd base is not in use because of the lurkers, so it's so...
Even for 2 bases is far few.
Yeah, way too... And you can see how much money is back. This could have been that phase where it's like you just throw a lot of Templar, a lot of Archons, really make a buff kind of army to deal with some of this stuff, but at this point, FINALSKY has been down supply for quite a long time, despite
these
how many
DTs killed. So detected, or maybe they're not.
They were really detected for a second, and the Overlords abandoned.
That one guy. Oh my gosh, I can't believe all these Overlords just fly away at the exact right time, and one of them hitting those 3 remaining Corsairs as well. It looks like Corsairs might get cleaned up. Oh my god, the damage right now, that 3rd though. 1 Corsair left.
Yeah, I'm just watching these DTs kill everything. That's the fun I'm choosing to have. But that's a lot of units still over at 9 o'clock. Here come the Overlords, dropping the main. There is nothing to see this coming. No defense at all. It is going to be a crushing move from elevation. Despite how much damage these DTs are doing, you give up your 3rd base. You already got your opponent back on 2, and you're going to send him to the Stone Age in a second.
Well, I mean, FINALSKY still has 0 detection and no cannons in here, so you barrow 1 lurker on the gateways and the game is over. And, like, here they come. Massive swarm coming in here. I wish he had like 5 DTs here just to be spotted by all this. His army is something, but it's down naturally. He does react quickly and pull it in here. Are there any actual lurkers with this force? I don't see any yet. Doing a lot of damage though. Well, that is a lot of stuff. Maybe he doesn't even need lurkers. Oh, well, 1's morphing, 2's morphing, 3's morphing. Nice micro there, saving those Hydras. There's the storm.
Yeah, that storm's so good. Big damage done. Gonna buy you a lot of time at this point, but still, elevation. I honestly didn't do the damage I thought they were going to do, but more reinforcements are coming.
The production only just started from this gateway, so I don't think it even matters. Protoss just has not been producing for a long time. He's neglected to make units, and so Zerg is going to make units and come over here and kill him, I think. DT is being produced now, but again, there is no detection. Observer did not get made, so... Oh no, he's lifting up the lurkers. Where's he going? I guess he's going to kill the remaining economy. The one place where there's a strong unit waiting for him, I hope he doesn't drop behind the mineral line there.
I mean, you got all these decoy Overlords. Maybe you do. He looks like he's going to drop early. DTs are here. They're going to be able to clean up the Hydras, but it's these lurkers that are really the problem here.
There you go. They're out of detection range, and that'll be that. Yeah, the pros can't do anything about that. Now, and Zerg isn't that close to mining out, being Zerg. You know, they didn't have that many drones. The DT army did totally destroy the 3rd, but Protoss has no answer for this right now.
Yeah, the DT's coming in. It's like, we'll help, but they can't see anything. There's no...
And they're just getting hit by splash damage anyway.
And look at the front now, all the move units going on, and they're going to attack from the front. Still decent amount of cannons, but no storms, no splash damage available. So, and plenty of detections. The DT Reign of Terror will continue in the natural. Oh, they can't muscle through. They wanted to kill that.
Yeah, they were well deflected from that location. You could attack here with 20 DTs, they'd probably still get cleaned up. That's it. FINALSKY lose the game, but it is top versus bottom. You never know.
Yeah, we will always give you the benefit of the doubt unless we know you're one of those kind of guys. But CPL is a lovely bunch of people. We don't have many of those. But that was an entertaining game. You wanted entertaining, but man, if you want to talk about, hey, there's things you could work on, laundry list on that game. Very fun.
Don't even write a list. Just macro is the only thing. I don't care what you spend your money on. If you have that much money, just build something. You have to keep building units, or you will never win, basically.
Yeah, I think for a lot of the lower level players, that's something they struggle with. That's like, oh, you got this build. It's like, I'm supposed to have 5 hatcheries. And it's like, no, the build says 5. It's like, if you're floating 2,000 minerals, make it more. It doesn't matter if that's not what you're supposed to do. Just make it work. Spend the money somehow. You can optimize later.
Well, I mean, at a point, I feel like both players weren't even being active trying to make stuff. Like, they were just messing with their units or something, which is not the way to go, for sure.
Oh, I like this guy in the chat. 75 mineral vulture is the most OP thing. Kind of.
Why? Why? We just watched the PVZ. Come on.
Yeah, out of nowhere. You can complain about those anytime you want. I agree. In the top right, in the red Terran, it's Queen. Back for more. In the bottom left, in the blue Zerg, it's Elevation. This is a color scheme I will switch to do the ship tab to.
Jack Hawkins vultures ruined PVZ.
I mean, to be fair, if either side had vultures, it'd ruin it for the other. Like, it would be broken for either.
Where both sides have vultures. Imagine how ruined that is.
Yeah, but you don't make units that vultures are good against. You make units that mines are good against.
Yeah, I don't think vultures are quite as good against vultures as goons are against goons, but that's another story. So, TVZ now, huh? Will we see a vulture made? I doubt it. Bio seems more popular these days. Have we seen Queen go with the glow?
I think way in the past, yes, but like that was like it was really in vogue. And seeing building being made by the ramp is making me a little optimistic we might see it.
Okay, but you can't make a link-proof wall of this, just so you know.
Oh, I know you're gonna tell me. I know you're gonna tell me.
I'm busting to tell him. Yeah, like.
Well, so we're gonna test that. Look at Elevation 9 pool. This guy wants to get.
This game might be very short because like you cannot make a link-proof wall here. There is no actual way to do that. And Queen, in fact, barracks very late. Not building an SCV right now. There we go. A bit delayed there. I'm not really sure what was going on just now, but some build hiccups already. This is going to be a nice zealot-proof wall, I guess. Except that the Marine will pop out on the wrong side. But well, if any zealots show up, Queen will be in a good spot.
Are we like playing some custom games? Like every race gets all the units, so we have to consider the impossible in this match.
Yeah, that's right. All right, SCV going to go out here now. Here's the thing: it's 2-player map, so you go for this 9 pool. Your opponent will scout it. The question is, can they hide the links? Because you can potentially run around the other path, and Terran might not notice till it's too late.
I think you notice the moment you get to the natural, there's not a hatchery. You don't even have to see the links.
But you might be macroing stuff. You don't look at your SCV till it arrives in the main or whatever, and then you're like, oh, I'm dead. So there's going to be a factory coming up here, but how soon? I mean, the links are already out. Certainly not going to be done in time here. And look at this. If you're just looking on the minimap, you see, oh, there's a hatch, whatever. Again, is Queen paying attention to this? That's the question. Well, that's what
better be now.
Yeah, no excuse now, right? That poor SCV got instantly destroyed. Now, I'm not sure what Queen's going to do here. Going to throw down another depot, I imagine. But like I said, this is not link-proof. The links can fit through on either side of that depot. So, ooh, the barracks lifting. Yeah, see, because the Marine's in the wrong spot.
Oh, no. There's a whole lot of oh, no going on. Factory on the way. I don't think it's going to be ready in time, though. If Elevation knows you can just run by, if it's just like an A move and they start attacking the buildings, maybe that buys you the time you need.
Or they just see it and they run back because they're like, oh, no, it's a wall. Yeah, you can get the Marine. There you go. They just slip right through. Well, thank God. I would have been very depressed if they just saw the depots and ran away. So now Queen is in a lot of trouble here. Because how do you micro against this? The Marine is so squishy, it dies so quickly, and even though the SCVs are beefy, the links will kill a lot of them if you try and fight too directly. Decent job so far, just like trying to save that Marine pulling back, but the link's still doing harassment. The question is Elevation really macroing behind this? Oh, that Marine is actually safe, I guess, in his little hot spot there, and Elevation gets pushed back.
Yeah, Queen pulled a lot of SCVs, but they're really good at kind of disrupting the links or something like that. Yeah, didn't lose very much, and like the factory wasn't even delayed, right? Like the SCV building it didn't get killed or anything, so the first vulture's on the way, and there's no sunken started at the natural.
Yeah, I wonder if Elevation even really noticed there was a factory they were microing around. So it might cause a lot of damage here. Honestly, if Elevation was just rallying more lings like non-stop and not boring with this hatchery, I think they would have won the game for sure, but with just the 6 lings, they didn't get enough done. Second factory coming up, which I have to say is not my favorite option here, but Creep Colony is on the way. Will this vulture get there in time? I think it might.
I think it will. It's just, it gotta keep moving. You know how sometimes you rally units like outside the natural and then they stop? I just think that'll stop it, but Elevation didn't make it into a sunken right away, giving them a lot of free extra time, and Queen's gonna get in.
Go straight in the main, that's what you need to do here. Yep, don't worry about those drones. Oh my gosh, this is going to do huge damage. Oh, nice morph there. Well, I don't know if that was even intentional. They're just putting a sunken anyway because they have no other defense here, no link speed out or anything, so it's not really going to be possible to catch this vulture as long as it's microed, getting there behind the minerals, where it likes to go. Oh my god. This is so much damage going down for the Zerg right now.
And even nothing else, there's so much disruption going on. Queen behind this, adding on their armor. He has that 2 factories done, 3rd one on the way now, so... Like, I think you go into that Goliath build and Elevation, because of the drop in macro early, because of the disruption this is going to do, whenever that first push comes out with those Goliaths, I have a real, like, big doubt that it's going to be held. I think Elevation just does.
Probably. It's weird that Queen is doing this on one base, though. Normally you can't really get away with it on one base, and like if Zerg can stabilize, they'll be in a really good position here, but oh my god, these drones are playing with their lives right now. Oh my gosh, again, the vulture's like, hang on a minute, what are you doing? This is my turf now, you're not allowed to mine here. Nice baiting of those lings out of the sunken range. Another sunken going down, man. Elevation has spent so much on these sunkens, never mind how many drones have already died as well. But the amount of money spent on these sunkens to secure this main is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think this is well worth Queen manages to get in here. 5 drones being made, so trying to catch back up. The work count will be equal. Queen has not produced SCVs in a while. I think this is like very committed one base, like because I didn't think you could afford 3 factories of stuff. But if you planned on never having a transition out of this, I guess you can.
Basically, that's what we're looking at here, right? I feel like Queen has to do critical damage with this, even though they kind of already have done critical damage with the vulture. If they can't, like, bust the natural, eventually Zerg is going to have the economy to just win the game, I feel like. Because, you know, Zerg is just trying to drone up here. They're not going crazy, building lots of lings or anything, trying to do that vulture. They're just trying to drone up, take up to Spire. Not mining gas just now, which might be an issue. But nonetheless, like, I feel like Terran has a window here that they do need to strike in.
Yeah. Elevation also doesn't have any lings or any scouting on the map. They will not see a move out, not even from an Overlord, so... Whenever the move comes, Elevation might not know until it's actually attacking their natural, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is a good point. Although it's not like they would have had any units to do anything about it. It's just a matter of making sunkens, I guess. You know, the main, ironically, is kind of well defended, but if these units just come and hit the natural... Wait, they can fit there, right? Yeah, they can fit there, but god, it's going to be hard to get them to go out there.
Yeah, we're going to watch how AI is pretty silly now. Queen made a tank, working on siege mode, so I think the move out's going to come out soon. Just use the Goliaths and just get that one tank in position to just start being the most annoying thing in history. Which, that Spire being on that front wall being the easiest thing to snipe down if you wanted to. Yeah. This is going to bite Elevation pretty hard, I think.
And the Spire is not really a tanky building, right? It only has slightly more health than a depot. I mean, that said, I guess that's more than a sunken, but even so, it's not going to last long here. If it does start getting targeted. And like, well, I mean, a Muta's even your main hope here. If you get enough of them, you can trade versus those Goliaths, but what's the economy for Zerg here? They got a decent drone count, but they have not been mining gas, so it's hard for them to produce a lot of Mutas right at once here. Ling speed coming up. Now, Lings really are not the answer against Goliath. Goliath's pretty efficient against Lings, especially when you get a lot of them together. Well, they're going to come out here and find out what's in store.
Especially since +1 plating is about to finish up, they're going to make them so much harder to kill. These aren't even fast Lings, no speed being done. So they run into Goliath, most of them get tailed off right away, and this is a large force. There's drones being ready, but with one sunken and no real units.
Drones like, ready for what, say? Ready for what? For the slaughter?
Ready for the Shadow Realm, dude. They're gonna explode.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, there's no chance here. Like, this sunken is gonna last all 5 seconds, then Terran will just come in here and have a party. Are there mutas on the way? Ooh.
No,
man, really
there's no...
Elevation does not want to give up.
Yeah, a couple mutas on the way now, but, like, The booster rockets are already completed. So many Goliaths here. Even a couple Marines to help out. 2 Mutas is not going to do anything. These tanks are putting the siege on. There's no way Ahsoka's going to get finished. Just trying to buy time, but there's no way, right? There's got to be no way.
So much on creep colonies that they couldn't afford to turn all of them to Sunkens right away. But yeah, no, these Goliaths going to gun down everything. These Lings coming out really just for their instant demise. Those Mutas, like the Goliaths, are like, oh good, we do get to use our fancy missiles. Thank God there's Mutalisks here, you know?
Well,
the Sunken's finished, but they're only buying a few seconds.
Mutalisk, singular.
There were two.
There were, but now there is not. Now there is none,
yeah.
Unfortunately. That Spire's still at the front, pretty close to death as well, so the tech choice is going to go down very quickly. A couple Lings are here, but like I said, plating level 1 is done, so Lings are going to do nothing to these tanks, nothing to
Did they even get an attack off? Like, it's like as soon as they touched it, they died.
I think there was one attack. It has lost 6 health. I think it's the guy attacked once by 2 of them.
Oh, well, that must have been 2 attacks then, because there's +1 plating. Oh, GG is called. Queen crushing there, despite a very disadvantageous opening, I would have said.
Yeah, a little surprised how well that actually worked out, but I think we saw that in the other game too. Elevation, we gotta work on just some of the basic macro, especially once we get past that very early game. So things to work on. It's preseason, always nothing wrong with any of that kind of stuff happening now. And Queen's been around for a long enough time; they should be able to abuse stuff like that without too much issue.
Yeah, definitely. Queen's showing like kind of how stronger they are, even if they weren't really that organized.
I don't know how good that build is, but as a fun twist on the Goliath build, just like all these factors, like one base, like nah, I'm going in. I think that's.
Well, cool. I can tell you, if Zerg has a proper build, it's not good at all because you really get a huge dead end, and all Zerg has to do is delay until they have enough Mutalisks to pick off like the tanks, and eventually they'll overwhelm the Goliaths too.
I don't know. I still had fun, like you were saying, man. We're here for the games to be fun and entertaining, and I had fun and entertainment watching it.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I always enjoy watching vultures just sniping drones, by the way. People in chat gonna hate me, but that's always fun.
Oh, you're an animal. Alright, we're going into our next one. Protoss is back in the menu in the top right. In the red Protoss, it's FINALSKY. And the bottom left in the yellow Protoss, it's Character. He's the final person of our group. Haven't seen him show up just yet.
Character definitely another household name in CPL. He's definitely casted a few games as well, actually.
Yes, well-known self-depreciator that they think they're terrible.
Oh, well, that's not the only one. Like I was telling people earlier, CPL is actually a tier -1, and we just move everyone down a single tier at the start of the season, so no one's ever in tier -1.
Oh, Lord.
Every single person is always asking to put people down a tier. It's always a thing.
I feel like way back when I first started CPL, I wanted to be like in the next tier. It's like, no, like put me against the big boys. I'm gonna pull out some shenanigans and really feel good about myself if I win.
Did you end up going into the next tier?
I did.
Nice.
I started tier 3, man. Ages ago.
Very nice.
I'd probably be back in tier 3 now though. I'm so rusty and bad.
Well, you did sign up, right? How did your preseason go?
I didn't sign up. I'm casting, man. This is a casting season.
Oh, really? You're not playing at all? Oh, I'm sad. Alright.
I mean, this lets me play casually whenever I want to play. Like, no pressure to practice for a match or anything. If I want to play, I'm just going to play.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then I won't feel nearly as bad about my shenanigans. We'll see what these players want to do, though. Both got gateways in their mains. No proxy, any nonsense. But we'll see if they want to take a gas, or is it going to be a second gateway really early on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about this map necessarily. If like these goon heavy strategies are going to work so well. Because say your opponent is going like 2 gate and you're going 3 gate, and you're out on the map, you can potentially like have time to retreat because you're holding a ramp for a second or something like that. I don't know. Well, I mean, so far, FINALSKY getting gas first, of course. The character going to make a few zealots. But the thing is, if you're opening of 10-12, you're kind of going into at least 2 gate goon, right?
So I mean, you got a lot of options. You can get the delayed gas, delayed cybercore, kind of just put some pressure on early with the zealots, which on a 2-player map, you know how long it's going to take. You don't have to guess it if you didn't scout or something. This could also just be the old school where you just get a lot of zealots, a forge, and a fast expansion. So we'll see what character wants to end up doing here, but just I think, especially at the lower levels, if you play against someone doing this like 2 gate, you throw like 3 to 5 zealots, throw them out, and then transition to a normal plan. A lot of low level players don't have like the micro awareness to deal with it well. It's a good way to get a lot of like pro kills early on.
True, absolutely, yeah, that's a good point. Well, let's see. The Zealot is already out for FINALSKY, which definitely helps. So now, the last game we saw, FINALSKY was really relying on the Corsairs fly around. I have to say the macro was really not that much. Now, I haven't seen characters play that recently, but I feel like he can probably outdo FINALSKY in that regard from what I've seen of him before. So honestly, I'm favoring character here over FINALSKY. Now, the Zealot's probably not going to do anything because already 2 Zealots out for FINALSKY here, and Goons will be started soon, I imagine.
Well, yeah, so this is the thing at what I think that character wisely didn't try to poke in with their first Zealot, but yeah, you need to wait till you actually outnumber a little bit. FINALSKY doing a great reaction to this build is just go DTs. You delay the tech so much, observers are really hard to get on time. That's why, like I was saying, the old school one's the Forge, the expansion, because it's cheap detection, like easy way to kind of get this done. So if you can hold on without taking too much damage here and wait till the DTs are available. But here come 3 Zealots now, only 2 on the ramp, and we'll see if they can manage to break through. It shouldn't be too much of a problem here.
Right, but this gives time. Well, okay, yeah, the fact that he's going for these DTs right away, it kind of makes it harder to defend this because you can't get the Goons. But I mean, FINALSKY microing pretty well so far. Well, he was until he sent that red one back in, actually. But yeah,
he was until you said something.
Right. I mean, honestly, it looks like FINALSKY's going to be A-okay here because 2 more Zealots popping out. And character doesn't have any tech behind this, does not mind his gas at all. How is he going to defend himself from DTs? Well, that Templar Archives never gets started anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think character back at home kind of fumbled some of the follow-ups. The gas is done in the Cybercore, but the gas wasn't mined for a significant amount of time, so not going to be able to use too much of it. And meanwhile, Templar Archives now on the way. FINALSKY is still just managing to at least hold their ramp. Character is going to try to again, but with how slow all this kind of goes, the next results are going to come out for FINALSKY. The DTs are on the way, and you are a mile away from detection at this point as character.
Yeah, I mean, this game might just straight up end when the DTs come out, because, you know, I have to eat my words about, you know, who was macroing better, because character was very much just paused while he was macroing his Zealots, which is probably going to end in his defeat, it looks like.
And I actually kind of love this for FINALSKY, too. Realizing that's like, I haven't seen anything yet. They throw a lot of Zealots at me. I'm throwing Zealots at them. They could be doing this, too. They're getting a Forge. So yeah, that's a smart heads-up decision, even though it's not going to apply here. That's still like a good choice. And
okay. I thought that Goon was stuck, but well, actually, it is still stuck. It's just stuck in a larger area.
It's a Goon cage.
Yeah. Oh, that is very unfortunate pylon and gateway placement. Honestly, even if these pylons were gone, it would still have to go all the way around the back of the minerals. Well, that Goon is guarding that spot very well. Is character going to like make it worse and put another gateway blocking it? No, it looks like he will not. The DTs are out, they're blocked by their own Zealots. Okay, here they come.
I think he's just waiting for the second one. So here they come. One should be able to fight these off. One goes across the map, or they're just both going to go. The character noticed the shimmer.
Did he? Do you wonder? Well, he built 2 more gateways just now, not a Forge or anything, so I don't know if he did. I mean, they're coming in fast. I don't know what characters can do here. I think this might be the end.
Yeah, he can die. That's what the character's going to do.
He can die.
Unfortunately, there's no way to sugarcoat this one.
And FINALSKY microing the Zealots really hard for the fact that DTs are heading straight to his opponent's base.
Yeah, you can see, brought one back for defense, has revealed itself on the Dragoon, but one's already here. No Nexus taken. Don't waste any time. You got to go in there and do everything you can right now.
Yeah, I think character realizes because that's why he started the Robo right away, but I don't think it's going to help because, yeah, these probes are about to get assassinated here. And I mean, what do you do against this? You can try to run them around for 5 minutes. That's not really going to help. That poor Goon has to watch from behind the cage as all his probe buddies get murdered. This is just Goon torture.
Yeah, the pro's like, let me in! Let me out!
Let us into the safe area. A DT can fit between 2 pylons, right? Oh, that's it.
I have no idea. But unfortunately, the DT just getting too much damage here. FINALSKY. Good build choice against what they saw here. So a quick game, but well executed.
Free range prison says Lucky, that's right. Yeah, it's like, you know, you got different kinds of goons to harvest the ice cream. You've got the cage ones, just like where it popped out. Then you have free range goons. And then there's like whatever the next level up from that is, the ones that run around the map and run into mines or whatever. Like naturally harvested, I guess. And where do you think blue raspberry ice cream comes from, Saetzero?
Blue? Hold on, we're gonna walk that back. What the hell is blue raspberry ice cream?
You never heard of that? That's the thing. Of course, blue raspberries don't really exist. It's just like a flavor.
Yeah, no, I know it's just like a flavor, but like that's like a Gatorade. That's like a slushy. That's like an Italian ice cream. You have blue raspberry ice cream in Australia? What wild, like,
No, no,
Narnia
no. We
place?
don't have blue raspberry anything. Blue raspberry is only a thing in America, just so you know.
Yeah, no, I am well aware, but like the fact he said ice cream, like, why is that like a million other things, not ice cream?
Okay, whatever. Blue raspberry Italian ice. Where do you think it comes from then?
I am not sure, honestly. I'd like.
Well, I'll
just,
tell
like,
you, it comes from dragoons. Be they free range, caged, or naturally harvested.
There was so much.
Final
There was
chat,
so
by
much.
the way.
So much setup to that joke. I'm sorry, I ruined it.
FINALSKY in chat, by the way, saying he likes the octopus credits aggressive. Well, that certainly worked out in that PvP. Had a nice prudent forge there. Let's see how you do in TvP.
Yeah, this will be the last game of this group. There wasn't that many replays, so trust me, I'm gonna go on a little rant about that shortly. But we got one more to go in the bottom left, red Terran. It's gonna be MG.QUEEN. In the top right, in the blue Protoss, it's FINALSKY.
Alright then.
Blue. I don't think we have blue raspberry ice cream at the boardwalk where I live. Cold. I really don't. I'll look for it. I don't think so.
Like, you know, Jersey area, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it's only in the kind of dodgy areas. When I visited, I spent a lot of time in the south, and they had things there that you probably shouldn't have. So,
dodgy areas.
yeah, I would say the south is a dodgy area.
Oh, no,
I'm sorry.
No, because Cole was saying I probably here, so I thought you were calling my area dodgy.
No, well, I mean, I was in New Jersey for like a few days, but I tell you the truth, we didn't do anything in New Jersey. Our hotel was literally there just so we could get the train to New York. So,
yeah, that's the better approach, honestly.
well, there you go.
In case anyone chats completely lost what we're talking about.
Cold War Gate says blue raspberry ice cream is even weird. So Cold War Gates, you do like eating dragoon in it, huh?
It's not even. What do you mean it's not weird? It's blue raspberry ice cream?
Yeah, blue raspberries don't exist, so it's pretty fucked up, to be honest.
I've never seen like that aggressive level of candy fruit flavor in ice cream. That's like, I've never seen it personally because it's like a dairy product. That sounds atrocious to me.
Did you see that probe just go right through there?
Yeah, absolutely did.
So once again, Queen building her buildings down here, but not really like trying to check out how they could actually wall. Now Queen took the gas right away here to try and stop that probe. I'm not sure actually. No, probe was late. I didn't really see if Queen had to cancel an SC. I don't think I did actually. But yeah, I have to question Queen always wanting to build their buildings in a wall when she doesn't investigate how wall's supposed to work. So we saw this in every matchup now. Well, okay, not TBT, I suppose, but both matchups where, you know, she built her buildings away from her CC, not where they're supposed to be for production, presumably for walling purposes, but it just doesn't actually make sense, not actually doing anything. Now, that SCV not finishing the barracks here, not really sure what the logic is behind that. Oh, it's going to come back. It's had its little break to frolic on the grass there, now it's back.
Okay. So this isn't any kind of wall at all if you put like another depot to the top right of the barracks? There's like nothing for this wall?
Well, you could do that, that'd be fine, but then the deltas are still coming in on the left.
Oh.
Like, sure, it could be tied on the right. You could put a depot to the right so Marines can micro, but of course she's not going to do that.
Well,
but then Zel's still just walking on the left.
I mean, we'll see what it ends up being. Factory on the way. People pull from gas, so Queen looking like they are going to take that early expansion. No two faction shenanigans, no crazy aggressive this time. And FINALSKY's build looked very normal. So their self-declared very aggressive style, we'll see what it ends up being here. Which, for me, the only really aggressive build in this, it's not like 10-15 2-gate, is preparing the Bulldog, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you could always be going DT. So that's not a cast of curse, right? That's like a cast of blessing.
I can't reach chat for the next 5 minutes. They're just like, I keep seeing Jersey like, light up, and they're like, oh no, not ideal with this. Well.
So FINALSKY, you have my blessing. I have predicted your path. It will go forward with the full power of the casters, which honestly probably means you're going to lose. Not going to lie. But I mean, so far Queen none the wiser. No bunker even here. So honestly, this just gets worse and worse because like you have these depots that goons can shoot. You have no way of defending them. Tank is going to come out pretty soon here, and obviously goon range is not actually a thing. That's just a lie right now because the DT is coming up fast.
Well, remember though, we did see Queen play in a versus Protoss earlier, and they did get a reasonably fast eBay and put a turret at the wall blind. So there's still that could still easily get thrown into the build if they know the time of when a normal DT rush would hit. So we'll see if that ends up happening. It is another one of these kind of expands that we saw last time that's just getting tanks and like getting siege mode, not trying to give vultures any kind of map control. So I'm expecting that eBay to come up really quickly, actually.
You're probably right. Tends to go hand in hand with just siege defensive builds. Look, this SUV going to see no expansion. Going to see 3 zealots on the ramp. If Queen knows what she's doing, she'll get an eBay after seeing that.
Oh yeah, there's no nexus. It's
Are you kidding me?
And it gets in the base. Oh no!
Wow. That's why you just stay on the ramp. You don't go hunting. And look, like you see this, you're like, okay, DTs, huh? But where is the eBay? It's still not started. Okay, the barracks can go up above. Now, see, this is actually not even depot below. The units will flow, don't you know?
Oh god, you had a third one. You had a third one, you monster.
Depot to the left, you will be bereft because those DTs gonna walk right in there. Now, DTs are fatter than zealots, so to be honest with you, I don't know if a bunker to the left blocks them, but I don't think it does because bunkers tend not to block much. DT's finally out here. Is there still no eBay being built?
No, there's a there's a vultures on the way. I was expecting maybe spider mines instead, but they're not even being researched.
I was assuming that the Queen saw this and was building an eBay. Okay, it only just starts. The DTs are coming. Lots of zealots with them too. Oh my gosh, I don't know about this. The eBay's in a pretty unfortunate location. Well, it's gonna be easy for the Protoss to kill if they can get there before it's finished. Mainly zealots are just gonna be the meat shields to stop mines, I guess.
Yeah, I would like, though, for FINALSKY, this is where you take a Nexus. Like, the DTs are out. If they're going to do their damage, you've already... Like, more is not going to make them do more damage. Like,
look at that, yeah. Depot to the left or bunkers to the left. Look, it's not even tight against the wall there. So the DT's going to work here. Queen in so much trouble. I like that FINALSKY just sending the DT straight to the mineral lines while the zealots distract. That is a strong move.
eBay got delayed. That's so big right
and
now.
This is why you don't like to build it down here most of the time. I mean, there are situations where it's good, but yeah, now what's Queen going to do? I mean, there's no detection. Mine's coming up, but these DTs are killing every SCV. Now, like you said, no Nexus from FINALSKY. In fact, no macro at all from FINALSKY. Once again, FINALSKY over-focusing on these units. Now, it's not like Queen isn't actually dying right now, but if she somehow survives... FINALSKY's not doing anything behind this. At all.
Yeah, that's like literally like you build a Nexus. Even if it was just like I'm building more gateways, I'm gonna like do a second wave of an attack. There's no progress anywhere forward. It's just gotta do big damage. Now, this is doing big damage, but if you actually look, like these turrets are gonna go up. So the detection will eventually Yeah.
Are they though? I'm not so sure. Oh, that one does. I was looking at the main. Okay, well I look like a fool now, don't I?
Yeah, the ones in the main, that's going to be a harder thing, but look how much damage is gone. FINALSKY, still no transition. Finally starts a Nexus, still making more DTs as well. Just like, I know what I need to do here. I know what unit's got me this fucking victory.
Well, I mean, it's not like Queen will ever be able to move out against DTs at this point, because there's no comp stats or anything. 7 SCVs remaining. Now, the Nexus did start, but FINALSKY has not been producing probes at all. So their probe count is still startlingly low. That Vulture hunting, but he can't quite get it. Man, as Terran here, you're just sitting here like, oh god, do I stay in this game? Like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, you see it's 18. There's literally nothing mine right now, but it did get cleaned up eventually. Mine's in the mineral line is like the ultimate. I am tragically desperate for defense right now.
Well, that DT is contained. He's not getting out of there. Did anyone hear the tragedy that just happened as my microphone fell? Sorry about that, if anyone heard that.
Oh yeah, we heard the crap. We heard the crap out of it.
All right.
Don't worry.
Sorry. Because it's right near the edge of my desk to avoid getting keyboard sounds, unfortunately. Look at this poor DT, although if the SCVs come down here, not as many SCVs to kill. Nice wall there. Pro's not getting in that anytime soon, although FINALSKY does need a Dragoon. Whoa, the trap! Jeez, those vultures thought they'd do something, but no, it was all a trap by these freaking cloaked ninjas here.
Alright, so we are past, like, Queen's in shambles. So much damage got done. FINALSKY is working on a forge. They're working on...
He only just started making probes. Just now. So, I mean, I don't know. Yes, it's like 10 probes difference, but it could have been a lot more. Like, FINALSKY could easily have been on 30 to 40 probes by now.
Look
in
at
that
this
shuttle.
DT's at zealous. This guy doesn't stop.
Well, if he goes in the main, there's nothing... Oh, that natural DT finally meets its final fate. But it does still have some of the mind. If FINALSKY drops in the main here, there's actually no units to stop that. They're just going to come in, kill the turrets, and then the whole game starts again.
So much maneuvering around, but yeah. Like, it's just such a big lead for FINALSKY. Like, this is actually something I'll notice, especially with like lower tier players, that you get a really big lead, but your opponent doesn't leave the game. And because so many people leave games early, they actually don't know when to close.
Well, someone in CPL I was talking to before was saying, like, oh, you know, a lot of trouble people have is like with closing out the game. They need specific advice on that, but you can see in this game, all you need to do is keep macroing, keep expanding, and you'll be so ahead that you will win the game. But the problem is FINALSKY did get ahead, but they just weren't macroing, and that's the #1 thing you need to do. And even now, their pro production has stopped again. But they might find a way to get further ahead and work a count by destruction rather than creation.
I mean, why be Nada when you can be Boxer, right? Like,
I guess. Look at these SCVs. They're like, no, you will not kill it. You shall not. But,
I mean, one of them's still alive. Vulture's trying to do their best.
It ain't gonna
but...
stay up, man. That ain't gonna stay up.
Not a chance.
Face reality. And like I said, now the whole game starts again of like, oh god, how do I get turrets up in there? Although, you know, Queen had more SCVs than she did before, and these DDs is getting baited down here. FINALSKY does need to be careful. Okay, keeps it alive. Some production is going on back home now, at least. The probe count is still abysmal from what it could be. But at least goons are being produced now. I assume range went up. Better lift that bad boy.
Yeah, range for goons is complete at this point. Mine trying to get
laid.
That
just stood there like, alright, hit me with your best shot, mine. You ain't got shit. But it does get killed by the vulture. Oh, poor Queen.
Yeah, this, for as bad as this game looks, it should look worse. Like, yes, it actually should.
It should. Like, FINALSKY should be attacking the front with like 15 speed zealots right now. Oh my god. Well, cleans up the main again. Queen is still battling on. Bunch of units coming now. There's no siege tank coming out. What is in the production tab right now? Oh, it's Iron Frosters. It was like a black box for me, and I was like, what is that? Now, there's no observers, so these mines at the front could still potentially do a lot.
Yeah, it's like the way we've seen FINALSKY play so far. I'm fully ready for them to just run into mines. Like I don't think there's any caution. And again, the macro. Like, look at that bank game built up. You have the bank, which is great, but these are the kind of little things that's like, you go back, you queue up, even if you have to queue up multiple units of these gateways, just something is better than nothing.
Well, the number one thing I want from FINALSKY is probe production. That's all I want, okay? If they had 10,000 minerals in the bank, but like 60 probes, I'd be a lot happier, to be honest. Because they just missed such an opportunity to get a ahead here. Almost every DT they've been killing their own probe by not making it, you know?
Yeah, are you going to elevate your whole army to... This is big Boxer energy. That comparison was so perfect.
This I like, though. This is actually a good move. Is this going to be the one time we see an elevator actually work? Because I swear to God, I have never seen a game where elevator wins except against me. It's never happened in anyone else's game.
No, this game is absolutely great, but it's just because of how much damage got dealt on. But look, Queen actually matched the worker count. They've lost like 30 fucking workers, and it's now
FINALSKY is just not making them. Like, they've really shot themselves in the foot here. Look how close the supplies are, how much damage these DTs did. This is just very concerning, to be honest. Okay, well, these goons are going to come in here. There is a couple mines around, but not that many. They could potentially do a lot of damage here. That CC kind of low. If they snipe the main CC, that's well worth it. Bunch of goons hang around the front. It's vultures. These zealots can get itself killed pretty fast. Oh, well, actually, you know what? That's efficient for Protoss somehow, so... Okay, goons in the main. Gonna go in. Keep those damn turrets.
Also at the front, too, so a nice little distraction tactic.
Ooh, at the front could be brutal for Protoss, though. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, mines are pretty good. Oh, speaking of mines being pretty good. Yeah, look, I think Terran's just gonna clean this up, it looks like. I mean, yeah, it does some damage, but... Protoss just lost so much army, and they actually have a smaller economy to come back. Now, they are building another base in the top left. Hopefully this comes with more probes. SCV is obviously the best unit in the Terran army, going to easily clean up these goons with some tank support. The tank is the supporting unit. The SCVs are the main army here. And you know what? Queen a lot better at making than the Protoss is at probes, so they'll easily clean that up.
Yeah, and so a factor got killed. Like you say, the worker count is actually favoring Queen now. Didn't even like stop mining or anything, and that's a lot invested in there. It keeps getting reset back and forth. FINALSKY adding on more tech at this point. Stargate on the way, so that should be for Arbiters.
Need
but
more probes to support that. The
yes,
mining is really low.
Need the economy.
Number one lesson for more people learning StarCraft out there: you have to constantly make workers. You think you have enough, you do not. When you get to like, I don't know, B rank, you probably have an idea how many workers you need. But until then, just keep making them non-stop at all points in the game.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like if you need to be well deep into this game, like as now base is a lot of stuff mined out before.
Yeah, like I imagine FINALSKY is sitting here thinking I don't need to make more probes, but nothing could be further than the truth.
Yeah, it was like, and that even's just like, is it just because you're like, oh, I got plenty of money because you got a bank, you kind of fool yourself that things will go well, or is it like literally just one of those, oh, my attacks are doing so much damage, I'm so ahead, and you coast, which is the worst thing you can do. That's how you throw games.
I mean, I don't think FINALSKY is thinking like they won the game. They can take it easy. I think they're trying their hardest, but I think they just don't think they need that many probes. They think this is like the number you're supposed to make. Is my impression.
Yeah, I actually wonder because around this number wouldn't be that far off if you played StarCraft 2, because they're like a distinct like this is saturation point.
No, even in StarCraft 2, this is nowhere near enough.
Well, no.
Because on 2 bases, you would need like
you would need 16,
like
16 minerals.
Is it 16? I thought it was 24.
Well,
no, 16 is most efficient, but the next 8 still give you income, and I think any Masters player will tell you it's still worth making those 8 most of the time. Especially if you're intending to expand later, because you know the diminishing returns you get for some time is still well worth it, and then when you transfer. Even a lot of the time in StarCraft 2, I have to say, if you're doing some kind of one-base strategy, even long-distance mining is still worth it when you're going to expand soon.
Yeah, no, there's definitely situations like that, but like the fact that like the game gives you like a number, that it gives you like.
But I think it's misleading. I think it's very misleading because people just see, oh, I only need 16, and they stop, and that is actually not good at all.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but I think like if you come from that game, that might also be hurting the mindset even more. Is what I mean.
FINALSKY in chat says they're a beginner. Well, like I was saying, for a beginner, #1 advice I can give you: focus on your probe production. Hotkey every Nexus, and just every few seconds go back to them, check they're making probes. Just focus on that #1 thing, you will see a huge improvement.
Oh, Lucky dude, brutal in the chat.
What do you say? Wow, Lucky, wow. Well, Lucky, when are you going to 1v1 a brunch match? Let's go. I want to see Lucky vs Queen. Look, Lucky, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think you can take Queen.
Yeah, I mean, the Queen is trying to recover after a very rough start to this game, and well, a lot of factors are made. You know, stuff being queued up, no big deal. I think actually I would have liked Queen to go like double armor. It's like it's gonna be forever free move anyway. You might as well like get 2-1 and have like a good army whenever you finally get there.
Well, FINALSKY, I got to roast you a bit about that because you have about as many probes as the Zerg has drones when they're doing like Hydro Lins. That's the problem here. He's saying in chat he plays like an aggressive Zerg.
Yeah, aggressive doesn't mean I don't do macro. That's not what that means.
Yeah, you still need probes. Protoss needs probes. The best thing to do with a DT rush is like take 2 bases while Terran's like, I have to get turrets up, and you're just like taking the map. Now, the probe count has improved a tiny bit with a few produced at this top left, but there's hardly any mining minerals still.
Yeah, Queen's economy looking much more solid. Even supply count at this point, Queen's building up that big tank army that we were seeing last time. No armors at all, so like trying to get units rather than trying to make them better for later. So I'm actually wondering if there is going to be a plan to make some kind of move out reasonably soon. FINALSKY is looking like they're prepping up for that first attack. I believe the first Arbiter is done, but I don't know what has been researched so far.
I don't think any has been researched, not that I saw. Wait, the first Arbiter is done? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Cool. Well, the cloak is not bad, honestly. Obviously, the turrets are in here, but if Terran tries to move out, it can be difficult, especially when they're 2 bases worth of scans. And now that I say that, in fact, Queen's scanning the army a bit, but does see the Arbiter, which is important intel. So yeah, you really kind of don't want to move out without a science vessel, because if Protoss is good at moving their army, they can really abuse this cloak and have a really good engagement here. Now, Queen does have a pretty scary army for 2 bases, and because she lost so many workers, she's not really that close to mining out either.
Yeah, I mean, science facility is about to finish up too, so that science vessel is actually not that far off. You gotta start clearing out these mines. FINALSKY move forward, sees what. Okay, no, so fucking Windows popping up with dumb stuff. We'll see what ends up happening here.
I mean, okay, it looks like FINALSKY wants to attack in here, and that could be a huge blunder, because honestly, this Terran army is going to be well set up enough, plenty of vultures here, that it will be an absolute slaughter. And here come the Zealots. That is more than a football team. That's like 2 football teams, plus all the coaches and stuff running up and down the field. But I don't think it's going to be enough. This is an absolute disaster for Protoss, attacking into this narrow location. So many, decent stasis, but actually blocks off the Zealots, really. So many tanks on the high ground hitting, so many vultures, but Protoss does very wisely pull away, doesn't fully commit there. So it was an ill-conceived attack, but props for not like committing everything and just losing the entire army, realizing it's not going well.
Yeah, this is, I think, one of the big reasons that you see a lot of Protoss players. They work on taking a lot of bases, because when Terrans hold up, it's like you're coming through this one entrance. It is so hard to bust through that, actually. So, like, you see how bad that went for FINALSKY. Queen now 40 supply ahead at this point.
Yes.
And that army is just getting stronger and stronger, looking a little more intimidating. I think when that stasis goes off, I think Queen's going to be on the move, because they want to get some damage done themselves. They've been playing defense for the past 18 minutes now.
Yeah, well, some probes transferring at least over here. And the final count, the total count is slightly improving with 20 minutes in, almost hitting 50 probes. This Terran army's coming out, though. I know what answer FINALSKY has. The Arbiter did survive very nicely. Did stasis get researched? Oh, of course it did.
Yeah, we got used.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. So, I mean, pros could still potentially take an engagement here, depending how Queen moves her army. Nice scan taking out that Observer. Really needs a Science Vessel. It's just about to pop out. Ooh, I say it's taking out the Observer, but I cursed the hell out of that. It's alive.
Yeah, you do it what you do best, making sure things don't happen because you want them to. Air armor on the way for these arbiters. I don't particularly love that so much.
That's very expensive.
Yeah.
It's like almost half an arbiter.
Yeah, I mean, it'll make them a little bit more effective for the recalls if they ever want to go for it. But at this point here, FINALSKY's got plenty of units on the middle of the field. Things are getting spread apart. Look at that arbiter off on its own.
Well, it's going to hunt down that tank or not. As long as it doesn't run into turrets, it'll be fine. It's going to hit the reinforcements. Now, FINALSKY's starting to engage with a few units here, but there's just so much terrain here. The flank is nice, taken from two directions is a great move, but I think Queen probably just has too much here. Like, Queen has a huge army, and yeah, just melting those zealots.
Everything siege dubbed doing so much damage. The vultures didn't even die off or anything. So, like, just everything, even though it came from both sides, it just wasn't enough of it. It was like a lot of goons, not that enough zealots, so I think to even break that through. So
yeah, because a lot of zealots died attacking the natural before. This flanking attack from the goons and arbiter is very nice, but well, okay, it's almost there. If a couple of good production rounds come out and FINALSKY can engage well, I mean, maybe this is breakable. That went pretty well for FINALSKY. Now, idle probes at the 12 o'clock base are a big issue for FINALSKY here because they need as much money as they can get. They've got to be mining there. And, you know, Queen's going to hit this Nexus pretty soon. A bunch of zealots come out, but there is detection now.
Well, we'll see what ends up happening here. So, you know, if their stasis is ready, is anything got the energy for it? Yeah, there's one stasis ready, so maybe that could be the move. But there's just not that many gateways. So you're saying like a good production round. It's going to be hard to get to that point.
That's a good point, yeah. On 4 bases here, I mean, if there were pros with them, need much more gates than this. Trying to drop these goons, and they don't really do that well dropped. They're going to get annihilated pretty quickly. Well, it does some damage. Protoss is doing their best to try and fight back, but again, I think Queen just has too much. It looks like they can get in here without any trouble.
Yeah. Arbiters do it as much as they can. Stasis saves the Arbiter.
Well, I mean, it's worth, but GG. Yeah, the Arbiter gets to survive to the next map, right?
Yeah, that's how it works. Like, if you save the Arbiter of Stasis, you start with it. You have 4 probes and an Arbiter. That'd be
so
pretty
good. Sick. Yeah, although Terran could just like rush for a barracks, make 2 Marines, and they'd be safe.
Oh, that'd be super funny. I'm very impressed though that Queen, like, after everything happened, stayed ahead in the game, like managed to pull that one out by just playing slow, building up an army eventually. And it did take us to some mistakes over commitment as well from FINALSKY, so clear things to work on, but well done by Queen to close that one out.
Yeah, very well done by Queen to come back there. Just honestly, with the constant production is the main thing, and never giving up too. I'm impressed because honestly, I would have left that game when those DTs were killing absolutely everything.
Oh yeah, I think everyone would have. I don't think anyone in the world does not need that game feels like a ladder game.
I guess Queen was the hero we needed to overcome.
Yep. So that is the last game we got from Group 13. We're just like what I've been doing most times I've been running these streams, that we're making sure everyone in the group is represented a little bit, but it's only like a couple games here and there. That group particularly, that was all the games because that's all that was uploaded. So
that is disappointing. In the regular season, honestly, you better upload more replays. I know, can we really ratify the results if there's no replays?
Yeah, when scores matter, then we're not gonna be doing friendly. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. We're gonna be like, no, I'm actually angry. No, go to your room. No computer. But before we get started in our next group, we got some games with Group 17 heading up tonight. I'm gonna go grab a glass of water. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Okay.
All right. So while he's gone, I mean, I have to try and keep the legacy going. Don't forget about the coach show match on Saturday and the team reveal stream on Sunday. So I hope to see you all there. I'd be rounding any of you up that don't show up. No worries, FINALSKY. Oh, FINALSKY from Sweden. Cool. Not the first Swedish player we've had.
Alright, I have returned.
Welcome back.
Did you do the good thing and chill in my absence?
I did.
Awesome. You're the best. Let's get
I
jumping
knew
right.
you'd want me to.
I didn't. I was like, we'll see if he does it. Yeah, I could go watch. I feel like I would do so much of the shielding. You know, people. It's like I don't know if people ever want to.
Just special talent.
I see. I don't even know why. It's not something I do in normal life. It's just CPL brings it out of me. Well, we're gonna go into Group 17. Introduce the players in the top right. In the white Protoss, it's BENNO. In the bottom left, in the teal Zerg, it's RHOMMULUS.
Yeah, I haven't heard of RHOMMULUS. Is that an AKA or is that just their proper ID?
That is their proper ID for this group, but I actually don't know either of these players. I don't think I've casted either.
First CPL for RHOMMULUS?
Or at least I haven't casted them. Can't see the game.
Yeah, I didn't do
Overlay.
that either.
Yes. Ugh. I was doing so
no.
good. It's like, oh, let's go get water to just get my head out of the game. See, you guys gotta stay focused.
Okay, so once again, back to the staple matchup of CPL. I want to see some Corsair action again. That was pretty hype, even if it didn't work out ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what it ends up being here. Like you're saying, they brought BENNO to CPL. That's awesome. Every time like someone could bring some of their friends in, it's like to get more people. Actually, one of my boys this is their first CPL too, and he's in the struggle bus, but he's having a good time.
Oh, really? Like, what do you mean?
He's trying to get used to the game, but he hasn't played much.
Oh, so he's only just started it? Oh.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the struggle bus in Tier 3.
What race?
Terran. He did it to himself.
Oh, well, tell him to make work, because SCV's pretty strong.
I do. I give him the basic tips. I tell him I don't know anything about building placement, though. You figure at this point I would, but I do not. Now we're seeing.
Well, if you need advice with that, you know who to come to.
You are not overloading his little brain with any of that stuff. Yeah, that is so far down the list of priorities for the level he's at right now. But we got the Overpool opening. We got the Forge Expand opening for both players. Scouting is easy. No gas steal or any super weird shenanigans, so maybe we'll get something that looks a little more normal than the last PvC we saw.
Yeah, I think so. It certainly looks like, and honestly, like the building placement looks a lot more secure here for Protoss as well. Like I think both these players have a more solid build. It looks like.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Wait a minute. Was that a 9 pool? Or did I miss something?
It's an overpool.
Oh, there is the Overlord. I was going to say, where's the second Overlord? I didn't see it because it was like hanging out by the second hatchery. That's what I get for looking at the Protoss base for a minute.
I mean, the Protoss base, all the stuff just looks so shiny and new and great. Like that's where your attention is drawn.
Does it though?
Yeah.
Does it though? I mean, okay, if we zoom in on some stuff, I don't know, the Forge on the right side, it looks kind of like rusted a little bit, and like the Nexus, it doesn't look exactly like bright, shiny, and new. It looks kind of old.
That looks slightly shiny new to me. Are you looking at it in old graphics? What's wrong with you?
No, I'm looking at it in remaster graphics. You're not looking in cardboard, are you?
I'm running the stream. There's no cardboard coming.
Look, I wouldn't put it past you. Not gonna lie.
No. For the people, they will not.
For the people. Okay, so 6 lanes coming out here. I'm intrigued they stopped to get this probe, because well, they do get the probe, nicely done. You could get that cannon with no probes to block. 6 lanes will kill that cannon. Will he go for it? Probably just going to play conservatively here. But losing that probe is a big deal. Protoss really needs this scouting intel, and I wouldn't be surprised if RHOMMULUS just goes for a Hydro lane.
Oh no!
Cannon shots! Is that intentional? That's a ghostly play. If that's intentional, get that cannon. Yeah, there's no way this cannon can survive. GG, BENNO realizes they screwed up. That's PvZ, baby!
Oh man, that is just the tragic thing. Oh, that is brutal.
That was actually sick if RHOMMULUS did that on purpose.
Yeah, if that was done on purpose, that is the sickest thing.
Wow, but that was well done by Zerg. I mean, they just saw Protoss. Maybe you wouldn't call it greedy. Maybe it's just like an error. But you do need to block like with 2 probes or whatever, or you will just die to 6 links. If you see Zerg made 6 links, not just 4, like you got to think, oh, what if they just come to my natural? And that's what Zerg did. So props to Zerg there for seeing their opportunity and taking it.
That is just the worst part about that matchup to me. It's just you can lose so fast, so easily, in so many ways. But you'll get them out of your system eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Well, yeah, I guess that's like a harsh lesson. You're like, oh, well, next time I won't make this mistake, right?
Yeah. We'll go into the next one. We'll see how this one goes. Different matchup. Back to the TVZ, I believe. In the top right, in that pale blue, it's OTTOREMMER. In the bottom left, in the red Zerg, it's Love Me More. That is an AKA. I believe it's VERYBERRY.
Right. Okay, I was going to say, I don't think we have a London War. All right, cool. So there we go. 2 more players have been around a while. And honestly, VERYBERRY, well, I have to say, I think VERYBERRY's favored in this matchup, at least from what I've seen of their play before. Maybe Otto's improved a lot. Maybe VERYBERRY's degraded. Who knows? But honestly, VERYBERRY versus Otto, I'd be like, oh, VERYBERRY's going to win, right? Guess we'll see.
I'm not that familiar with their play. What are you expecting here?
I mean, just like generally pretty solid macro. I would say like tier 1 at least level macro, right? No particular features, but like no offense to OTTOREMMER, I would have said OTTOREMMER, you know, probably like low tier 1 player. I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Damn, Group 17's low tier 1. The Neblime's just upgraded.
Well,
everybody.
I'm looking at these players and I'm thinking like, why are they doing this group? Surely VERYBERRY's gonna like, you know, have superior play here. Like maybe we'll see Otto's play. Like I said, it might go better. When I say low tier 1, I mean like high tier 2, low tier 1, that kind of area. It's not determined. I guess that's what preseason is for. 2 idle SCVs? Really? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I'm like, look, I don't see him.
I guess we missed it.
It might be a little delay. Like, they got fixed already. I'm like, everything's mining. What are you guys talking about? Are you trolling me right now?
Well, yeah, by the time we read it, it's like, nope, never have.
Well, no early pool
Barracks.
shenanigans here. It looks like it will end up just being 12 hatchery, the usual, the standard. You know it, you love it. We'll see if it ends up being 2 hatch play. I think that's been. I haven't seen 3 hatch play in ages, right?
Do I have your permission to talk about the building placement? Okay, you know what?
Sure
Maybe
do.
I
I'm
did
looking
make a
at it.
mistake.
Go ahead.
Why is the barracks all the way over here? There's no reason to put it like next to your CC in this matchup because you need it to be near the ramp to either A, get Marines there to help defend the ramp versus 9 pool, or if you go into a bio game later, you need all your barracks near the ramp because of Mutalisk. So there's no reason to put it here. Already I'm questioning OTTOREMMER, but he's going gas. That makes it not as bad. Whereas Zerg, I can't really fault anything. Everything was normal. They went 12 hatch. They did go for extra drones for the pool, but that's not necessarily a mistake. That's just an option. And they're going for a pretty normal 2 hatch build here. I mean, this is what I was expecting, right? I feel like VERYBERRY, I can expect to have a pretty solid build and like no clear mistakes. But already Otto, I'm kind of looking at this, kind of like, what are they going to do next?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what it ends up being, but yeah, I like. Is it that important where it's like you build a barracks there because you just want to build it as fast as possible?
Well, in this
like,
game, it will not be impactful because there's no 9 pull or anything. But when I see that, it just makes me wonder what else they might do that isn't really optimal, you know?
Check out the natural.
Yeah, and see, this I also would describe as not optimal because the problem is your Marines are really far away. You've only got 1 SCV here. The pool is done now. Like, Zerg can easily deny this. As long as they're paying attention, there you go. Like, all you're going to do is get some mining time, and honestly, it seems kind of nice when you're playing as Terran, but it's not worth the amount of money you're investing here. Like, you know, canceling the bunker, you get money back, but not that much.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of distraction on the drones. I actually think VERYBERRY's overreacting here at this point.
Yeah, chasing that SCV that far is not what you want to do, because you do need to just hang around here. But look, he's just going to bring these links out, no problem. Like, it's not a problem at all. And the thing is, the 100 minerals you had invested in that, you could have started your factory earlier. You know, another depot, anything like that. So I'm not a fan. And look at that, he's going to lose this Marine, which is honestly far worse. Every Marine is important, because even though you're getting a Vulture, a Ling counterattack can be a deadly thing. And we see that VERYBERRY went for Ling speed first, which is a very strong move against these factory type openings. If you come with a sudden massive Ling flood, Terran really has to be prepared for that.
Yeah, I like that. At least after all that, we're seeing the sunken being made at the front. There was that gas opening, so factory is made. Vultures should be on the field soon if they want to. So making sure there's some defense ready for that. But Otto, after that bunker, I can't call it a bunker rush. The bunker tease that we saw there,
Yeah,
it ends up not going down. Try to come back home, build a bunker to get their expansion up. So I don't mind anything they were seeing here, but yeah, like you were saying, Otto just got slowed down a little bit. Which,
well, VERYBERRY has neglected to start their lair though, which is actually a pretty severe error here. So I guess I can stop praising VERYBERRY so much and switch over to saying OTTOREMMER's a better player, because like I don't know, like I don't really understand why there's no lair right now, especially since they kept mining gas. And this could be a game-losing mistake because you're not going to have any mutas or anything out. Is there a Marine in that bunker? Oh, there's a Marine in that bunker. Oh no, 2. Yeah, nice.
So
Okay,
Neblime only likes your play until you mess up. Very strict.
That's right.
Very strict.
Oh, this Vulture doesn't see it. Oh my god, lucky for VERYBERRY. Lair finally starts. Extremely late here. That Vulture, oh my god, it's going to get in. Oh no. Micro though? Oh my gosh, I thought he was going to lose it for a second.
Oh god.
Needs to micro it better than that. Okay, there we go. Now he's into the rhythm of it. And yeah, this is going to do absolutely huge damage. Big error from VERYBERRY there not to have Lings blocking the ramp. And honestly, those 2 Lings that went across the map and died would have been better served doing this. Oh, but honestly, not the best Vulture Micro from Otto. Very luckily cleans it up. That could have done absolutely massive damage. Honestly, Very is fortunate there that not much happened. So we have Hydra upgrades coming up. I don't dislike it versus mech. I like the kind of like fast third base into mass Hydra idea, but again, the lair super delayed, a lot of gas mine. The third not that fast, so it's all kind of a bit shaky.
Are you sure it's gonna be Hydra based? Because I mean, the timing of it compared to the lair, it makes me think this is like Lurkers the moment the lair is done.
Well, he's researching Hydra speed, so.
Oh yeah, I guess. But I thought you still
What
get
else are you researching that for?
I mean, I thought you still would get that anyway. Go into
for what?
Hydra Lurk.
Well, the thing is, if you make a bunch of lurkers right away against mech, well, as soon as they get detection, your army is just weak and will be destroyed. That's the issue with that. So I don't think we're going to see lurkers particularly fast here. Now, there could just be a bunch of mutas coming up. These Hydras could be purely defensive against, like, drops or Wraith or whatever. That said, I wouldn't expect you to Hydra speed for that either. But there is a Spire coming up, which makes you think maybe a Mutalisk will be made.
I think it gets in the main.
Oh.
Scouting info.
Sneaky.
One singular link just bolted past everything. It's like, no, I'm going to see what's up. It's so good. Just managed to get that info there. But we'll see what ends up happening. Like,
yeah, Lucky has a good point, by the way, that like this natural is very not secure for Otto. If there was a Lingalin, I think Otto certainly would have died. Luckily for him, very just choosing to macro instead.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. I had a point. I lost it. It's fine.
That's alright. So Goliaths continue to be made here, Goliath range on the way, so if there are any Mutalisks, be prepared, but maybe Very just getting the Spire just to A, if the Terran scans it, intimidate them, and B, so they have Scourge to deal with any like Wraiths or drops or vessels later. Which, you know, you do need to have it the longer the game goes on, you do need one. And with how much gas Otto was mining here, you know, it wouldn't be surprising if a dropship suddenly showed up.
I mean, you wouldn't want to just start building up science vessels as well?
Yeah, but usually not until you're looking at a third base here. I mean, there are different options, of course, for mech builds, but generally what happens is you kind of power up on a number of factories before you even start your starport, let alone science facility. Now, a few Goliaths coming across. I understand the concept behind this. At an earlier time in the game, when your opponent is going Mutalisk, it's a good move because you can potentially cancel the hatchery. But this is too late, and his opponent is not going Mutalisks. So these Goliaths are not in danger right now. If these Hydras realize they're here, well, if a few more get made, that is. I think there's just about enough already if they all fought at once. But look, they are fighting on their own, not even fighting, mind you. Just getting murdered.
Yeah, there's no defense here at this third base. This feels like one of those like little zealot moves out. It's just gonna kill what you can.
Well, but I don't think Terran's getting away with any of these Goliaths. I don't think this is really going to work out in Terran's favor in the end. Yes, he's getting this ramp, which is kind of nice, but the bunch of Hydras coming up here will slaughter this, and the drones will help. Well, how many drones will fall? Let's see. 2, 3...
Not as much as I wanted to see, unfortunately.
4. I mean, I say that was definitely not worth it for Terran, losing that number of Goliaths, because you're really trying to power up for a big push here is the best play for Terran. But now Zerg is going to feel very secure on this third base. They're presumably going to re-drone a little bit, and they can just mess up a whole bunch of Hydras and contain Terran really hard, or at least potentially counterattack. Is that another bunker? Well, that's another bunker, but where are the Marines to go in it?
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if that was just an immediate, let's make a bunch of mutas. You reset all those Goliaths, they always see Hydras, it's like maybe they start making tanks. Maybe you get ahead of the game.
That could be a kind of mind game play. They are getting +1 Carapace, makes you think Muta Switch will happen later. Is that +1 missile for Hydras or Hydra Rain? Well, that's +1 missile for sure.
Yeah.
They're trying to get in here, but the bunkers are pretty good against Hydras. I don't think attacking is the play here. It does pull back again, which I think is a good move.
What, you don't want to watch the Hydras do their comical amount of hits to kill one SCV?
Yeah, no, I do not. Is it only 9?
I believe it's more than that, right? It's 12, isn't it?
Is it that many? I don't know.
Yeah, because you do half the damage to the SCV, and they have 60, right? So this would be 12.
Yeah, that'd be right. It's a lot of hits.
It's so ridiculous. It's how little they take.
But like I was saying, Zerg can set up a pretty good contain here to do a lot of Hydras, and anytime Terran tries to move out, they'll have a better angle to engage. The bunkers won't be able to help them, of course. I love that he's putting this Hydra here just to look for a third base. That's a great move. Scans going down. What does it see? Not much, honestly. Some Scourge.
Yeah, Queen's Nest is done now. Haven't moved towards the hive tech just yet. As I say that, there it goes, because that's how everything works. Drone is up in the spot to go take a 4th base if Barry wants to be going for that. And like Otto, like not that they're doing a bad job macro or anything, but I don't see like a move out coming anytime particularly soon, right? Ooh, 6 Queens on the way.
Their unit count. Yeah, so Very has a plan here. They're already researching Broodling. as Terran builds up the tank count, they'll build up the Queen count, build up their energy. When Terran moves out, they will go in and nuke all the tanks. Then suddenly your Hydras engage and kill all the Goliaths. That's the plan here.
Yeah, I would be very interested to see how well that goes, because I know that like setting that up, you need the vision so far ahead, like get that easy like cloning to make it actually work without them like just taking forever. So
yeah, see, this is mechanically one of the most difficult things to pull off, to be honest. Is a lot of Goliath scouting, because Queens are quite squishy. The range for breathing is okay, but the way they have to kind of like slow down and cast it leaves them very vulnerable. So if you don't execute it right, your Queens will just die. That said, every Queen hitting a tank is like a huge value for the Zerg. Did he cancel breathing or did it finish? And now we have Gamete Meiosis, the most famous upgrade that everyone knows the name of, the Queen Energy upgrade coming up.
I immediately hovered it. I'm like, I don't know what that icon is. I bet that's Queen Energy.
Yeah, it's not a common one, but definitely worth it, because, you know, once it's finished, it increases their starting energy. You know, the way energy upgrades work in StarCraft 1 is ridiculous. The upgrade has to be finished before you start building the unit to get the starting energy.
Oh, I thought I just said it would be before it finished. I learned something.
In StarCraft 2, yes, but no, in this game, it's like, nah, we can't be that easy on you. Alright, tanks coming out here. Now, Broodling is not going to be ready for some time. Queens are out and building up their energy, but it's going to take a while before they'll be prepared for this.
There's a decent amount of Hydras, though. If you catch them on seed, maybe you could take this fight. But there's the siege.
Yeah. Yeah, Terran was a bit brave there, but ultimately I can push back. Now, no starport here. 6 factory coming up. I feel like Terran's still thinking they're just going to push across and end the game, but I don't think that's going to work out. They need to be looking at a starport in the third base and really turtle up here. I think that's the only real option for Terran, rather. Zerg taking a 4th base as well, macroing very diligently here. A huge amount of Hydras is ready in case Terran starts moving too aggressively. That's the thing. The Queens will be good in the long run, and in the short term, Terran I don't think really has the strength to push across. We'll see.
Yeah. Those Hydras are in position, though, at least to slow things down, make it a bit annoying. That Hive's been done for a while, but I haven't seen anything from the Hive. No Defiler, no Ultra, like no tech. Yeah. Really kind of a choice. As I say that, there's the...
That's something. It's not the most impactful, to be honest, in this situation, because it's not like it's a whole bunch of Lings going to engage. It's just a handful. Of course, if they attack an undefended base later, that's usually helpful. And look at this. Terran is going to push across the map. Now, I don't think this is the play. I mean, who knows if Zerg has a really bad engage? Well, speaking of, a few Hydras coming over on their own, so the prophecy is fulfilled. Oh no, the Queens getting picked off by the Goliaths for absolutely nothing. Oh my gosh, that's a huge loss for the Zerg there. Well, maybe now Terran can succeed. That is a pretty big deal. Revealing them and losing 3 of them, I think it was.
Yeah.
Now Terran's looking strong, because that's, you know, 3 more tanks that won't get instantly deleted. Now, Terran's looking for the 3rd CC. It's just about to finish, but it might not float out there for a long time. Terran may pull back here and expand, but maybe they can actually push forward now, having had such a good engagement in the middle. Or Hydra's coming forward.
Yeah, there's not that much. Everything for Berry's kind of all over the map, and not in like a good flanking position. We'll see if there is like a commitment to a counterattack, something to dissuade this. But like, if this is just let's throw the Hydras at the armies that goes forward, like it hasn't been arriving at the same time. It hasn't been executed as cleanly as it should. See if this one ends up being better. It's still just a lot of Hydras, and again, the group ends early, but nothing to really siege, so an opportunity maybe.
Yeah, nice surround by Zerg, coming in from lots of directions. There go the Broodlings. Very nice. Yeah, looks like Zerg, barely won't clean this up, I don't know, but they've kind of diminished this force enough. All the reinforcements, though. Oh, it's going to be close, honestly, because Zerg continuing to produce more Hydras. In fact, there's a lot more Hydras just hanging around. Might still have the strength to stop this, but the Vulture reinforcement's absolutely critical here, and so many Overlords for him as well. But, you know, that's Zerg's secret. He lost so many units, doesn't need Overlords right now. But 16 Hydras in production.
And more of the Queens die as well, which is just another blow.
Yes.
You really don't want to be losing those.
Well, at least they got their Broodlings out, though. If a Queen kills 1 tank and dies, it's still worth it for those, Zerg. Obviously, you want to keep it alive. Now, look at this, the huge surround coming in. This is what I was saying, like, they kind of diminished the force enough that they can just come in and clean up. Because Mech obviously relies on just having a bigger and bigger army. It scales better and better. And now, the 3rd CC is ready, but what does Otto have to defend this? The macro is slipping hard during this fight. Over 2,000 minerals. Zerg just managing to keep it below 1,000 until now, anyway. So, I don't know if Otto's going to be able to hold this 3rd, as long as Zerg knows about it. They had a whole bunch of Hydras looking for it up there, pulled them back to defend. Presumably, they'll scout that again, because they're aware it's a possibility. Ultra Cavern coming up here.
I don't know if I like Ultras here.
If you have a huge number of them, then they can be really good against mech, but if there's just a huge number of tanks, it becomes extremely bad against mech. There's no way to lose money faster than like attacking with a max army of Ultras into a max army of tanks. Now, these Hydras are getting on top of these tanks, by the way, so how many tanks are they going to be? If Terran just has weak defenses, they're scrambling to put together, Ultralists can suddenly power through that. And look at this, these Hydras, they might not take out this base, but they are trading super efficiently here, doing a lot of damage to Terran.
Yeah, a little more
Oh,
reinforcements
free
too.
tank.
Yeah, free tank,
Free-
never a
yeah.
bad thing here. But it's like, I feel like at this
If you're
point,
Terran.
with everything getting reset so much, like, you got those speed lanes, you got the adrenal upgrade, like, you could just flood those in, easy counter attack or just something to get these through. These Hydras are definitely doing some work here, but I think you could really kind of take that attack to the next level. Plenty of mines here, though. We're gonna make it hard to get to the natural, but that third base, like you're saying, there's no defense here.
Yeah, and these Hydras are very good at killing buildings. They're probably going to just stream up there and destroy that CC. Well, one at a time. Okay, here we go. They're starting to get in there. I mean, very probably wisely focusing on the macro rather than microing those infusion units, and they still will take out this base. Here, what does Otto really have here? There's like a tank. I believe there's still Marines in those bunkers at least, but what's the plan from here? How are you ever going to retake this? So many SCVs falling. Zerg very happily just droning, taking up, going to be getting Ultras out soon. Ultras might just be what he needs to bust this. Is there overlook speed, by the way? Because these mines are going to be a bit troublesome.
I believe so, yeah. They didn't
You know what? Those
research
mines
that
are not
usually.
as much as I thought. But yeah, it looks like these tanks are crushing.
Yeah, there's just
sorry,
enough
being
muscle
crushed.
here.
Yeah, sorry, being crushed, I was trying to say. Oh yeah, that's a lot of Hydras.
Yeah, but it was like, if there's legs to go through it, enough to go through, but still, I don't know if the defense ain't gonna hold anymore.
Yeah, it was a cool game, but I feel vindicated that Very just kind of overall played stronger.
I feel vindicated that we've seen every TV Zisman the Goliath build.
Yeah,
of some form.
What happened to Bio, man? What happened?
It's not cool. No one wants to play Bio.
No, man, sure it's cool. Like, you know, injecting stim drugs are cool, I guess, kids, you know?
Shit, just shoot the drug straight to your gun.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what happens. They're not actually injecting into themselves, they're injecting into the gun the whole time.
Then why did they lose health?
Well, their health isn't really their health, is it? It's the freaking suit or something.
So, what, are they Dragoons now? Or Marines Dragoons?
Maybe they are. They're Dragoons if they had, like, a good suit. Imagine if they had the HP of Dragoons.
Oh, that'd be ridiculous. All right, into our next one. More Zerg action in the top right, back to VERYBERRY in that pale yellow. And in the bottom left, in the blue, Protoss, it's Benno. Picking that dark blue, and it makes it hard to read their name.
It sure does. Well, they do have top versus bottom if you want.
No, these are good colors. It's literally just a scoreboard is the only like problem. Like the mini map.
Maybe is good color.
It's a great color, but yeah.
Is it good for Zerg, do you think? Or not so much?
I like the lighter stuff on the Zerg, like the yellow, the white, the red, like all those look so good on Zerg.
Red and purple are good colors for Zerg for sure. Alright, Probe gonna come down here. Do the standard old thing, move a pile of the natural. Here we go.
Well, hopefully it's this game goes longer than a couple minutes, so if Benno learned the lesson, or at least won't get exploited like we saw last time.
Yeah, well, I wonder, it could be the same game, except Protoss did block the cannon and then they just win alone. It's not like Zerg's gonna leave the game after losing 6 legs. Does he see that Overlord? Oh, it does not, barely. Not that that's any surprise. Like, oh my god, it turns out Zerg is in the top right on this 2-player map. Who'd have thought?
Yeah, it'd be much more interesting. You get there, like they're not there. They lifted the hatchery.
Yeah, lucky it's all morning for me too.
All right, so
Or at least it was. We started.
So let's see what it ends up being. Is it a forge? Is it a nexus?
It's neither.
It's
going to build a nexus way out here on the open ground. Oh, okay. That would have been sick.
All right, so doesn't manage to block the hatchery by any time there. It is a forge, very delayed at this point, unfortunately. Doesn't want to commit
But
to
it is hatch first, so. But that means. But Saetzero, that means we could see the cannon rush. But he's not even building the pool.
there we go. We could see it. Will we see it? We're it remains to be seen.
He's
Unfortunately,
only missing his timing, really.
yeah, I gotta say no. It would be nice, and Eclipse is a map you can do it on. So if people want to go for it, it's a good reaction to the hatchery first. Really disrupt your opponent, throw them off their game.
See, guys, Saetzero said it's good, so you have to do it now.
The things I say are good and the builds I like to do, this is why I'm not a coach and would never be a coach, right? Like, don't listen to me. I'll coach you to have fun, and that's
Alright,
not.
what about me? I technically have an assistant coach role, and I'm telling you to cannon rush, so
No,
it must be a good build, right?
Yeah, you also tell everyone to 9 pull speed every game, every matchup, every game.
It's pretty freaking good, man. Have you tried it?
No, like I way back in the day I played Zerg. That's how I played. So I get you. I do.
There you go. Well, way back in the day when I played Zerg, before I knew how to play, I would just make Hydras only. And the occasional Defiler. Wouldn't use Darkstorm though. Terrible spell, obviously. Plague is the only good spell.
Yeah, Darkstorm doesn't do damage, clearly.
That's right, exactly. Whereas Plague, you can burn down like Terran buildings and stuff.
Yeah,
I wonder what would happen if you put 10-year-olds or whatever in a room, had them play StarCraft for 10 years. What would be their meta? On Blizzard maps, naturally, not on any good maps.
Nah, I think you gotta give them at least some good maps, even just the classic ones.
Like,
You can't.
Blizzard maps. You let them play on Lost Temple.
Oh my god, please.
That's the only legit Blizzard map, as bad as it is,
Yeah, really. I remember I played on, I think it was called Crescent Moon, a lot, which it has no ramps. Half the expansions don't have gas. It's on the Twilight tile set.
That's a typical Blizzard thing. They're like, okay, we're gonna put a geyser over here, just a geyser, and over here there'll be 4 mineral patches. So have fun. That's what they do. And then one map they have 15 mineral patches all next to each other. It's like, what?
Well, the scouting probe did get taken out, quartered in the base. Unfortunately, it didn't get too much info. We see that Lair's on the way on 3 base, speed following up afterwards. We'll see if Barry wants to actually go Spire, actually go Mutas. I would love to see it. I feel like I want it, that's your can rush. I just want to see actually going Mutas more often.
Why does the Protoss want to see that? Damn.
I'm not playing.
Well, this is Stargate, by the way.
I'm not playing. It's not my problem.
So you'd be happy to see Zerg just dominating with some Lingolin or something?
I mean, it could also be I want to see an Archon punch 20 Mutas and they all explode.
Ah.
It could be so many things. Ooh, air weapons being researched. Stargate nearing completion. There is that Spire here, so there's a chance.
I'm hyped for the air weapons. Look, you like Mutas, I like Corsairs. Why are we playing the races we play?
I like Corsairs too. What's wrong with Corsairs?
Nothing. I assume that you like Mutas more.
I mean, I really.
I'll pass on that one.
I really do. That is the reason to play Zerg for me. Is Mutas. Muta harass is so fun.
They're pretty fun. They are pretty great. Ooh, idle drones third here. Need to get to work. But let's see. Both players build pretty solid overall.
Yeah, the probe does get in the base and get some scouting info. Notably, doesn't see a Hydra Den anywhere.
Yeah,
I don't know if he actually saw the Spire though. Is the problem.
No, it's hidden down the natural. Unlike the PvC we saw before, Protoss doing a good job keeping their scouting probe alive, which is very important here. I mean, you see that layer, you kind of know already it's probably not going to be a Hydra bus. Unless he's going to go into 5-edge Hydra and come and attack, but that can wait for a bit as well. And of course, in reality, no Hydra Den down. This is very standard. 3-hatch into Spy, into probably 6-hatch play.
Well, we got 5 of them on the way. We'll see if it ends up being that 6th one. And when the Spire finishes, there's the Hydra Den. Will it be Scourge? I guess it will, because there's just not that much saved up. I don't think you want to invest in 4 or 5.
Well, no second gas. No second gas usually means it's not going to be Neblime.
Yep. But, sometimes people are animals. You never know.
I mean, sure, it's sneaky, but what are you going to do with, your 3 Mutalisks you can afford anyway?
Well, if you get 5, that'll stop any, small Zealot move out. 5 doesn't enough.
Well, that is what we see pros do a lot of the time, actually. They just get, the initial Mutalist, kind of like when you verse Terran Mech. You just kind of make them react to the Mutalist, then you just go straight into Hydras or whatever else. But just Scourge for now, just playing it safe. Oh, that Corsair is in deep trouble. Okay, maneuvers around. Scourge are the dumbest unit. Never mind Dragoons. Scourge are actually the dumbest unit. And this Corsair will make it home.
They should make Scourge explode if they even just, not an attack like they do is make contact.
Why did he turn back? Don't! No! Oh my god. He was home free! Why did he turn up?
I think there was an attempt at that where you can bug the AI to make them, fall back a little
triangle.
More.
You don't do that versus Scourge with Corsairs, though, because you just don't do enough damage to make that worth. One Corsair versus 2 Scourge? Surely not. You'd have to be, literally a robot to pull that off. Cobwalk Gates, I don't agree. Scourge definitely way dumber. Oh, that particular Corsair was hold my beer. Okay, that's fair. That particular Corsair pilot was actually, I can do the dumbest thing ever. I swear if they put Scourge on the ground, they would have a lot more trouble than Dragoons.
I mean, there is scourge on the ground. Infested Terrans. No one ever tries to get them.
Well, they aren't that dumb. They're just kind of hard to use, right?
They're pretty dumb, dude. They're pretty dumb.
Reasonably dumb. They're like 50% dumb. Well, would you say they're dumber than Dragoons? At least they can get where they're going, even if where they're going is not the right place.
They're naturally dumber because their objective is to explode like that. So yeah, their life mission is worse. So
I mean,
yeah,
you watch goons wandering into minefield, and sometimes you wonder. Man, look how many Corsairs are being built up here. Looks like we're going to see some serious Overlord aggression again.
Yeah, kills off a couple Scourge here. Reveals that
I think that was just for a scout. Yeah.
Well, I think you wait for like 5 or 6 if you're going to start like really trying to hunt down the Overlords. But
yeah, because you need to be able to defend yourself from Scourge. And +1, gosh, how many do you need? I don't remember to two-shot Scourge.
Offhand, I couldn't tell you at all. But still,
it's 9 to one-shot them, so I guess it's 5 to two-shot them.
Yeah, so maybe it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But I mean. Honestly, just like Berry's not really on the map that much. Just a couple overloads, which first one's getting found immediately. That's nice.
Unfortunate. Yeah, but with overload speed done here, plenty of hydrogen to defend. Berry's looking pretty good here, pretty defensive. But you know, having these Corsairs around is always going to be an asset because it's making it harder for Zerg to move around the map. DTs can always be a threat here, and look, Zerg is trying to move out here. Maybe the defense is a little thin. Looks like that overload at third is ripe for the picking. Will Benno try and go in for it? Oh, look, Zealot move out coming too.
Yeah, which means if there was an attack, there's not going to be a whole lot back at home. Storm has finished and Dragoon range on the way. We'll see if we get that Robo and Observers. They'll be followed up reasonably soon. Even though we haven't seen any research on Lurkers at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't have to get Lurkers in a situation like this. I think Mass Hydra is pretty good. Now, have there been any upgrades whatsoever? Okay, +1 missile is done for Zerg. Oh, that Overlord left the third just before these Corsairs swoop in, fortunately for the Zerg. But they're going to get a little bit of a scout, at least going to see there's no Hive on the way, which would be pretty early. Just see what's going on now. Massive amounts of Hydras coming across. Like you say, Storm is done, and you can definitely defend this choke pretty well with Storm, but is there really enough Storm to stop this many Hydras? Because this is an obscene amount. God, look at those Overlords in the natural, though. They are not very well defended.
And those Zealots off in the bottom right, they're doing nothing. Like, they're not...
Yeah, they need to counterattack now. Oh, I don't know where they're trying to go now.
We want to talk about dumb units, though.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's their commander, I have to say. You know, the Zealots usually can get where they need to go. Man, I really hope Benno is on the ball with these Storms, because if they're not... Oh, Storm right now! There we go, there's a decent one, but needs more cannons, to be honest. Templars in the back need to come forward as well. This is too much stuff. It's just a ridiculous number of Hydras. The cannons falling so quickly. The Zealots trying to come back, but they're already getting annihilated just by the reinforcements. Looks like Zerg is just going to crush through here, and there's nothing Protoss can really do.
Yeah, Zealots trying their best in the back, but there's so much stuff still at the front. Yeah, with the Storms, they did decent damage, but not enough. Even Corsairs are coming back, but it's not like there's DTs in production where if you kill off all these Overlords, you're going to be in a good spot here. And Lurker Aspect is about to finish. I think the Robo finished, but the Observatory wasn't started because the attack happened to cause distraction. So Berry's plan, like once the attacks begins, making a lot more sense. Reinforcements are going to come. It's going to be very hard for Benno to hold on.
Yeah, this natural Nexus is going to die, and honestly, that's kind of all you need to do. Or is it going to die? Oh,
Come
my
on,
God.
It has to die. It has to die.
Okay, there we go. We didn't target that. Okay, the Overlords are falling, but I mean, if even if Protoss reclaims this location, they've taken such a hit to their economy. I can't really see them coming back in this game. While this is happening, Zerg taking a 4th base as well.
Yeah, too much damage going down. There's still like over. There's a grip of Hydras just walking to your base. They can start killing whatever buildings they want to go for.
GG. Put this man in tier 1, I'm telling you. At least.
Yeah, that was well played. If Benno is the one, I think Lucky New was saying they brought him in the CPL. They're definitely playing pretty well. They're gonna be. Like,
oh yeah, sure. Benno wasn't looking bad at all there, but very just a stronger player. Like honestly, it wasn't like we watched this game and I'm just like there's some gimmick. I really feel like Very is just the stronger player in this group.
Yeah, I mean, you predict that early on. They're definitely looking that way for sure.
Well, that's why I was surprised to see them in this group because I'm like,
yeah. Why is this group 17? What the hell?
Yeah, like Very's like pretty strong, and Otto, you know, not doing bad either.
Yeah, not at all.
Never mind the results necessarily, but the play looks good.
Trust the CPL MMR. It's preseason. MMR hasn't adjusted yet. They're still playing placement games. All right. Did they? They did. Top versus bottom. Love you guys. In the top right, Blue Zerg. It's RHOMMULUS. And the last person in the group we haven't seen yet, bottom left in the red Terran, it's HUGIN, which I think we casted during week 1 as well.
We did indeed. I don't really remember their play that well, do you?
Not offhand, no.
Well, we'll see it again, I guess. I am hoping for Bio. I think they'll be Bio. That's my prediction.
I don't know. We've seen only Goliaths, man. It could happen.
You sound like you're scarred, like you came back from the war and you're just like, it was all Goliaths. You never even saw a single medic.
Well, like, we don't got, like, the webcams or anything on. Like, I said that with just this big shit-eating grin on my face. Like, it's only been Goliaths, man. I don't know.
You know, I like Bio. I think Bio is more exciting, to be honest. Although, you know, big mech games can be interesting. They don't tend to go that long. I feel like Zerg either dies to the 2-base push, or they do, like, so much damage to Terran, like, crush their army so hard that they're just ahead and win, like, a few minutes later.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is that I feel the pain of, like, a Darkswarm ruining all your plans. It's like, man, this is out of control.
But isn't that more exciting when it's like Terran's 1 second away from winning and then Darkswarm goes down and the game goes on for another 10 minutes? Like, you know, there's points where it's like, oh, the game could end, but Zerg barely saves themselves or whatever.
I mean, that is exciting, but if you're like, you empathize with the players, like, that's like the Artosis rage.
Since when do you empathize with Terran players anyway?
What are you talking about? It's 2022. It's a new year, new me.
Oh, really? Wow, I'm surprised.
Oh, no, not even a little bit. Overpool opening from Romulus.
Oh, what the hell? Again, listening to Hawk's advice, I guess?
Yeah,
I'm never going to stop saying that.
And gas on the way. Yes. No bio for you.
50 years later when, you know, I'm casting StarCraft in the nursing home. Man, okay, you know what? Give me 60 years. I wouldn't need to go in there that early. 60 years later when I'm casting StarCraft in the nursing home, you know, I'll be like, oh, well, it's Overpool in TBZ. Must be listening to a Hawk. Oh. All the people around would be like, oh, he's going crazy again.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that meme, like, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Let's get you to bed.
Back in my day, it's 2 hatches, then you made Mutalisk. You see, it controls the space.
If Mutalisks are in your base, you can move your bar across the map, dear. Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay. Well, the Ling's going straight for the SCV, which I don't really agree with. I think you should go across the map in this case, you know, especially against a mech opening here where Terran doesn't really want to go down to the natural. Forcing a bunker or anything would be very good. And looks like just a couple of SCVs being pulled on the ramp. Terran aware this is not a 9-pool, seeing that it's just an overpool, doing pretty minimal defense. SCVs kind of need to get in position, but they got time. And this SCV honestly staying alive pretty well. The drones probably could have sniped it, but for now, still keeping up in that Zerg base. Oh, don't go down there. Why would you go down there? Oh, that's so sad.
Hey, just wanted to live. So I guess celebrate life. Factory on the way. Everything get pulled, but we'll see if that Sunken will be finished in time because the hatchery got delayed, right? So.
Yes, Romulus going for a 3-hatch build here too. Now, Overpool, it's not like, you know, you're too far behind to win, but it just would have been a better economic situation for Zerg if they just went with 12-hatch. You know, the Overpool hasn't really done anything for them except deny the scouting, I guess, which I don't feel like is super important up against mech, like compared to Bio. Now look at this, they're going to move down to the low ground here. They're pulled off gas, they're going for the CC. Now this might be a bit premature. When, like, you see Zerg has made 6 Lings. I mean, I don't know. This bunker's not going to be done in time. If they started earlier, like, this would be fine, but I feel like these Lings can come up here and just do a lot of damage. Ooh, yeah. Bunker though.
Not quite complete. It's close. 4 Marines are here.
Oh, the Lings hesitate. They missed their tiny second window, and now Terran secures this location. No problem.
See, there's your enticingly close moment. So close to disaster.
And no mech units were involved whatsoever.
Right. But it's like...
If he had 2 barracks and an academy in his base right now, that would have looked exactly the same. Just saying.
All right, so he didn't have to go bio to give you your exciting moment.
No, but this is the last moment we'll see like that. Now it's just gonna be like, oh well, here come the Goliath, but there's 100 Hydras. You wait.
I mean, what if he kills a queen that's as like 1 energy short of a spawn broodling?
Well, that's not how it went down last game, was it? Like all the queens died after putting a couple of broodlings. Second factory coming up, no armory yet, which might be an error here. If the Mulus are out at good timing, range will not be done because it does take a long time. Ultra microing as best it can, picking off these Lings. Surprised Romulus didn't pull them back, but might not have even been aware it was a gas opening. And look, these panic Sunkens coming down.
Those Lings bought the time you need to actually complete those Sunkens. If the Vultures just said peace and just ran by them, like these Sunkens would not have been ready in time.
Ooh. Bit over defending here with this like Evo chamber, presumably for defensive purposes as well. I mean, you can use it later for upgrades, of course, I suppose, but double Sunken, I mean, Terran's really got the value they need to do out of this Vulture, killing all those Lings and forcing 2 Sunkens. Vultures continuing to be made. Now, 3 is kind of the most you see with this build normally. You can certainly go for like vulture speed and make a whole bunch and just suddenly try and run into the Zerg base, but it's pretty dicey strategy, and if it fails, you just instantly lose because you don't have enough to deal with mutas. Let's see. Do we see a machine shop? Armory's almost finished.
No machine shop yet.
Academy. Ooh, what is going on?
I'm a little anxious once to get the scans. Are they like important for when you're playing this kind of build? I know.
I mean,
Lurkers
if you're up
isn't really
against
the
too
answer,
much Lurker, you absolutely need them, yeah, but there's no indication of that so far. It is going to be Spire, and with no machine shop, if it turns out to be 2-hatch Muta, what are you going to do to defend yourself without Goliath range? Now, I suppose it is 3-hatch, I should say, in this case. But if it was 2-hatch Muta, they'd be out like pretty soon with the Silver Pool opening, and range would not have even been started, so this is a very dicey way that Hugin's playing. It might work out in the end. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, still, it's just if it's buying time, it's like the Lurker got finished for a while. The Spire just getting started a little bit later, so I think you're just. I don't think it's going to be that bad. It's just at what point does Hugin have to start doing damage or forcing some kind of reaction? Because right now, like 30 drones, Romulus whoever takes the next base, I think they're going to be in a pretty good spot for some action.
2 base versus 2 base, Terran is happy, right? It's only when Zerg takes a 3rd base, Terran actually has to do anything. So, you know, theoretically, if Zerg never took a 3rd base, Terran could sit in his end of the map until, like, 20 minutes and just wait. It's like +3 and whatever. Like, that's the thing with mech. You never have to actually do anything unless your opponent's getting ahead on bases. Then usually the easiest thing to do is take your own base rather than kill theirs anyway. And, after a certain point, Terran has all the bases they need, and then Zerg has to kind of make something happen or else they just lose. Now, nice job picking up that Vulture. A lot of Lings being made. Where are the mutas? There's the mutas. Oh, didn't make enough Overlords here. That's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, we got armor on the way as well, so making me think there's going to be some kind of transition, maybe into Ultras.
Yeah.
Even though against mech, like you were saying, not really the thing you want to be going for too much.
Well, you can kind of delay and try and get to like Defilers and use Ultralisks. I don't know. It's definitely a thing. Look at this Vulture getting its value for sure. Keep spewing out those grenades. Oh, don't run into the wall. So the 3rd base does go up while these Lings are buying time. The Mutalisk will be out soon to chase his Vulture away permanently. Looks like Hugin just trying to keep it alive and send it back. Oh, no, I'm wrong. It still wants to murder. Not the best micro, but it's still getting enough value for a 75 mineral unit.
Yeah, it's doing what it can. Mutas are nearing the natural now. 2 turrets are made, with some more covered by that barrier.
2 turrets, you say? Oh, there's a lot of turrets.
Yeah, I meant by the mineral line. I was thinking with my eyes, not with my mouth.
I see. Well, thinking with your mouth doesn't really seem like a good way to think anyway. No Goliath range, so Terran really can't be moving out here, but at the same time, he's made a whole bunch of turrets, so these mutas can't really attack either. Now, we do see more being produced. If Terran continues massing up a huge amount, and eventually there's a big engage, and Terran still doesn't have Goliath range, it will just make it so one-sided. Look at this, coming in here to harass. Normally when you do this, it's very risky, because the Goliaths can do so much damage and so far away, you don't want to lose them, but as it is, Zerg kind of get away with not much damage taken. Now, he's kind of overcommitting a bit here, I think, fighting this Goliath. He just needs to get out of there. Oof. If there was Goliath range, I feel like half of those mutas would be dead, whereas he only loses 1 in actuality. Goliath range now has started, at least.
I think that would have been much more disastrous. We've seen players always commit for that harassment way so much. Like, you go so far into the base, I don't get why there's always this temptation, I can go for the gold, I'm definitely going to be able to get it done.
Yeah, especially against Goliaths, right? Against Bio, sometimes it's well, if you're in a weird corner like that, the Bio can't even get in, and you can actually just kill everything. But against Goliaths, even if they don't have range, they're kind of beefy enough that they'll get in there eventually. And yeah, he didn't really do that much damage. That said, Zerg has droned up magnificently behind this, and their economy is looking pretty good. The question is, yeah, they are going to transition to Hydra more now after making all those mutas, but the mutas will still be a threat on the map, so definitely well worth it, I think.
They got a really fast Queen's Nest, but they're not going towards Hive or making Queen, so I'm very surprised to see how fast they got it if there wasn't part of the next step.
Yeah, it is confusing. Maybe they're just waiting for the money for the Hive, I don't know, because you can see they're macroing pretty hard, keeping that money down very well. Whereas Terran, not so much. They're building up quite a lot. Now, tanks starting to be produced. Looks like Terran's going to come across with a very typical 2-base push here, probably with 3 tanks or so. Plus an armor plating as well getting started. Scan goes down, sees the lack of Hive as well. Which kind of makes you think Zerg's powering a bit more, so maybe it dissuades you from pushing on. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not particularly sure. Or, would this be maybe some kind of attempt from him wants to take a 4th base earlier rather than later as well to lay the Hive so you can build up units and maybe take control of that 12 o'clock area?
Yeah, I think that makes sense if you kind of power up more Hydras first as well. So yeah, that definitely could be a play here. And honestly, I like that style of play more than trying to take up on fewer bases first mech. I think the best play for Zerg against mech is just get obscene numbers of bases. Oh, this bunker holding back the Terran army for so long, so bravely. But it will fall.
Just bravely holding back its own boys.
Yeah, that's right. Well, these Marines know, you know, they don't want these like mechs to go out and commit war crimes on the Zerg. They'll be stomping on drones out there. Okay, he's going to start moving out here. Yeah, this is a scary push for Zerg to deal with. There are a bunch of Hydras out, but it all depends on the engagement. +1 armor going to finish for Terran soonish. 5 is on the way now. 4th base about to go down as well.
Yeah, there's another CC that's on the way. These mutas that were moving around, like, oh, maybe they're going to fly in, delay that CC. That'd be pretty big, but you could just try to push out outside of natural, start getting themselves in a position. Romulus is adding on a lot of Hydras back at home. That hive about halfway done. See if the choice will be when the tech is done. It's got to be Defilers, right? Like, it's got to be.
Well, I still think Ultralists are sort of a thing. I mean, they're not the strongest, but it's kind of like they have a lot of force concentrated in one place. So if you can suddenly strike somewhere with them, they can kind of overwhelm. That's their kind of, you know, I guess benefit. Actually, it's the same thing as Hydras, really. Hydras, like, in this matchup, aren't really particularly efficient. They're not, like, particularly strong, but they bring a lot of force in one place quickly. So if there's something that's weakly defended, Hydras can really take advantage. But it probably is going to be Defiler because we see Lurker aspect coming up as well, and Swarm Lurker can delay Terran mech a lot. It's kind of not the favored strategy, but it is kind of a gimmick you can use. Alright, now the Hydra's coming in here for a little bit of an engage. You need to pull back and engage all at once, so this could be a disaster. Terran coming down the ramp. This is actually probably a pretty good engage for Terran. There's a lot of Hydras, but they're kind of getting melted right now. Takes out one tank, very nice target fire, but a lot of these Hydras are falling. I think Zerg needs to pull back here. I don't think he's going to win this fight at all.
Well, here come mutas.
Well, a bit late. If they were there the whole time, I'd have made a difference. I mean, okay, they can take out all these tanks, I suppose, but the tanks kind of already did their work, didn't they? Oh, well, actually, hang on. How many Goliaths are actually left? Doesn't go after them, goes after the tank instead. Looks like Zerg brings some more Hydras out. I guess Terran barely holds this, but if he, like, combined the Mutalisk with the Hydra attack, it would have been much more efficient here.
Well, during all of that, he was trying to harass in the main with the Mutas, but he didn't really get anything done. He got a couple SCV kills, didn't really, like, kill any villagers or anything. Didn't delay
against
that
mech, it's a lot harder. You basically have to, like, build, like, a ridiculous number of Mutalisks in the late game and just suddenly attack the main is the only thing you really do as far as harass goes. Now look at this. This third base coming up for Terran, though, so he did have a backup plan. Goliath's even already here ready to defend it. Nicely done by Terran.
Yeah, 3 Mutas not going to be enough, but a lot of Mutas streaming across now. Lings and Hydras.
Terran has a unit of his own, the SCV. I guess they're going to mine, not fight, so Terran might have some trouble. I mean, okay, if he gets all these Goliaths up this ramp, which it looks like he will do, I think he can hold against this many Hydras. He needs to get them up that ramp, though. Okay, so let's pull back. What are the defenses of the natural? Well, mines are a pretty good defense, I guess. Needs to siege up those bad boys, though.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Well, it sort of drags them, I guess, but still not really worth it for Zerg, I have to say. Absolute slaughter going down here.
Yeah, that is that's not great, but hey, after everything's all said and done, Terran's only a little head on supply. They just got their 3rd base. And
yeah.
Romulus has got 4 bases up and running now. Hive is complete.
Zerg's drone count, though, is too low for playing against 3-base mech. You need a lot more drones here. Look at that poor Overlord with a turret being built under it. Oh, it does die. That's sad. Even another turret being built under his grave. But yeah, Zerg seriously needs to drone up, like, a lot. He droned up pretty well before he started this Hydra flood, but now he's just been flooding Hydras for a long time. 8 more drones in production now. Hive not really getting any use right now. Is that +3 missile, though? So that's something at least. No, that's +2 missile. No Lurkers have been morphed. No Defiler Mound. I mean, yeah, if Terran is still just, like, coming out with another big push and Zerg only has Hydra still, they will get destroyed. Nice scans going down.
Yeah, check it out. What's going on in some of these other bases. Starport is on the way now. Finally, the Hive get to use Adrenaline Glands on the way to make these lanes a little more effective. But I think HUGIN's like set up their 3 bases. I think they're being very comfortable right now. Even repairing the Goliaths, doing a good little job. Just 1 SCV. What a good guy.
Not like Goliath has a kill. You got to give him respect for that. He's earned his repair. Look, if I'd killed a Hydralisk, I would like always be bringing it up. Like, yeah, but I killed a Hydralisk one time. I'm pretty badass. So coming across here. Now, Terran has a bunch of Vultures to support. It's not laid any mines for this base, but again, going up that ramp, I mean, it's a lot of Zerg, but I can't quite see him taking that ramp. Well, actually, that is a lot, though. These Vultures need to get over there and lay some mines. Is there no Vulture speed? Oh, that's been unfortunate. Oh, okay. Now they need to pull back off these mines. Plenty of tanks here. This natural is not where you want to attack for sure. This is not going to work out for Zerg. He needs to abandon this idea. Oh no, this is going to be another disaster. The Hydras just like sacrifice themselves onto the mines, getting absolutely melted once again. Trying to drag, decent drag actually. Looks like they take out a few of these tanks, but there's still just another one in the back. Well, actually, I guess it's more than I thought.
Yeah, the mines didn't do as much damage as the first attack. Hydra's going to move forward.
Yeah.
I think they'll be able to kill this tank. And so a couple Hydras do survive. Forces the SCVs to evacuate back to the main, but I don't think you're going to get too much more than that. Actually, the SCV's going to fight. They're going to kill that Hydra so they can brag about it.
Like this isn't kind of enough leftover Hydras to actually get anything done, unfortunately. I mean, reducing the tank count's worth it, I suppose, all of that lurker egg, though. Where's the tank to deal with that? Okay, they just popped, actually, so... Well, I mean, I guess it just kind of shows how much better Zerg's economy has been, that that attack worked out, but I still don't think attacking there was necessarily the move. It might have been better to preserve the forces weak till Terran moves out. Now, that lurker in the bottom is going to hatch sooner or later. Does Terran realize that one's there? He kills one. Okay, yeah,
he's got an SCV attacking it.
Yeah, but SCVs kind of just do that. Again, it could get a shot or two off, but SCVs are beefy. I don't think it'll do much. And yeah, Zerg just abandons it to its fate. Doesn't even micro it.
I mean, it's about sending a message. I don't even need this lurker.
Zerg's drone count has increased a little bit, but in the long run may still not be able to keep up. Terran getting all their vessels and upgrades all out here. If they can just build up a big enough army, it'll look a lot superior to Zerg's. But Zerg still has a huge amount of Hydras running around.
Yeah, I think once a vessel count grows up and some radiate's done researching too, that's when you're probably going to see HUGIN feel a little more comfortable moving out. A lot of move out though. Hydra's against Swarming and Mav. Robbie's got that full campaign Zerg style where he just throws units at and see what happens.
Well, these vultures will pull back from these mines. And yeah, you know, the tank count being reset, maybe eventually Zerg will break through in this fashion. Because yeah, you really need a lot of tanks. Look at this. This third base, again, kind of under threat. Some mines get laid. There's overlords to the mines at least this time. All right, here they come. And yeah, Terran not really pulling back into the natural completely. And the mines actually doing pretty much nothing this time. Looks like Zerg's actually going to break through now.
Yeah, a lot of Hydras here. Mine's not doing enough. Actually, kind of hurting some of these vultures as well. Reinforcements.
Yeah.
Vulture's not the unit you need right now, and HUGIN, there's nothing really coming up that's going to be too discouraging. A couple tanks will be popped up soon, but there's a lot of Hydras here. He's going to do some big damage. At least take out the natural. If not, I would actually prefer if he just moved up and started working on the production.
Well, that's what he's doing with a few of these, and honestly, it looks like Zerg is actually just going to win here, because the units coming out of the factories are not really going to be enough to stop this. Some units coming from the third, but there's really not that much there. Lots of vultures popping. Well, mine's doing some work. But yeah, I think Zerg is just won, just by relentless Hydras hitting the front. Eventually, he just wore down the defenses. And now he's in here on the factories, the natural is gone. Every tank that pops out getting instantly sniped, and so many more Hydras coming across the map to deal with this third. Just as the last tank leaves that location. One mine, not going to be enough to hold this, doesn't even go off. One Goliath also not enough. And Terran has just been smashed here by the infinite streams of Hydras. Oh, just morphing them right in front of him too. Oh. Just like, yeah, okay, you can try and fight with SCVs, but their fate is sealed. GG.
Honestly, that game was pretty exciting. I thought HUGIN was going to be in a much better spot, but you know, eventually there just
well, like you pointed out, his macro was not very good, unfortunately. And yeah, a couple of times it was like Zerg was invading, and that was just when he laid his mines. If he laid all of them ahead of time, like in every fight, I feel like it would have been a lot easier to defend. But yeah, the macro is definitely a big issue. Could have had more units out there. Whereas Zerg was just like really smoothly and relentlessly making Hydras. You could see they only on a couple hundred minerals the whole time. So Zerg just mechanically playing that a lot better.
Yeah. I just didn't think that was eventually going to work because he was resetting the mines. Like it wasn't like he cleared them out and then they never got fixed. He was like resetting up the same defense. It's like, all right, is 10 Hydras enough? No. How about 15, 20, 25? Just find the number. It's like you just said enough.
Yeah. Well, you know, maybe mines aren't free after all. They do cost 25 minerals in a way because the vultures kind of don't do that much versus Hydras. So I don't know.
Quite possible. So we got a couple games left for tonight, but before we get into it, just to reiterate, in case you guys are not paying attention to Discord, which if you're not, I don't know what the hell you're doing. We do have some stuff going on this weekend. The Coach Show match is on Saturday. That'll be in the afternoon for America. It's very watchable for Europe, very watchable for Australia and that kind of area. It's going to be a couple good matches. No mirrors, just going to be the three principal ones, but it's going to be a great time. Me and Cole Warheads are going to cast that. And then the day after on Sunday is the team reveal stream. Learn about the maps, learn about the coaches, learn about everything, and hang out with some of the CPL staff and Age as usual.
We'll learn you real good if you come down to that cast. But definitely join us for the team reveal. Well, I say join us, but I will not be a panel member. I might just be a guy in chat. But
if you're a guy in chat, we might just drag you in anyway. You gotta do one of these days.
Yeah, I mean, sure, I'm down, but it kind of seems like, it's got its established crew. I don't want to mess with it.
We would love to have you. You're such a fun guy. I enjoy my time with you, buddy. And speaking of time with you, like I said, a couple more games. Let's just get right into it. I can't wait any longer. Okay, now top versus bottom, black versus red. Okay, we can deal with it. Not a big deal. In the top right, in the black Terran, IRK Auto. In the bottom left, in the red Protoss, it's Benno. The different matchup for Benno.
I think I've cast the match between these two before, and I believe Protoss won. I could be wrong about that. But I think there's definitely going to be a tight match. These two players pretty evenly matched last time they played, for sure. In chat, NCX saying the viewers won, the Mines won. The Mines always win.
Yeah,
no matter who won the game, the Mines always win.
Yeah, but that's like super misleading because it was actually the Zerg that won.
Oh yeah, the Zerg definitely won the game. The Mines did well for themselves, though. What did Otto say? I've been playing something on and off. What?
I don't know.
Whatever it is, it's really nice.
I always like seeing a little bit of the friendly banter. Although, over like a little more trash talk, just a little bit. It's like you're going down, DTs in your base or something.
Listening to music while playing a match? Ooh. I mean, look, when I'm playing ladder, I do, but I find it distracting from my match, actually, if I really want to focus.
No, I need like music I like. I put on like calming music, like something like low tempo.
Oh, really? No, I need something high tempo to increase the APM. If I play calming music, like Zealots be killing my Marines, I just be like, oh, that's okay. You just move over here. Oh, it's too slow. Okay, I guess you're dead. That's okay. I need to be like, oh my god, move it quickly. Build the depot. Vulture's microing. Mines.
Yeah, that's how I forget to like make the Arbiter when the Tribunal's done. When everything's too high tempo, you do slow. Slow is like your play down. You kind of don't miss any little silly steps. You want to talk about buildings?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Yes, I do. Just let me. That depot is blocking. You can put another depot and have like kind of a artosis spot, I like to call it, where the Marine can hide. But honestly, for a first depot, I'm not a fan. I just had to get that in my system. Now we can move on with the game.
I think I could just tell. It's like, if we start a game and I'm like, I don't remember seeing buildings like this that often, and it's like I just feel you're shaking in your chair. It's like, come on, let me go, unleash me.
NCX in chat says calming music like Doom Eternal. Yeah, so calming.
BFG.
Saetzero, take the wheel. I gotta go answer the door.
Not a problem. I mean, not like there's too much to take the wheel of anyway in this matchup. So early on, everything's pretty good. Is that one extra dude in gas or one dude not mining in gas? Hopefully Benno notices that. That really fucks up a lot of your early tech stuff. You're missing one probe out of gas, so we'll keep a small eye on that. But just Dem Cybercore, Dem pylons in base, gas being mined for auto. We'll see when the factory is being made. If there's guys being pulled off, looks like it. So should be early expansions for everyone. No one wants to try to end the game in 5 minutes. Oh no, this is gonna be tragic. Oh no. SV is trying to poke around, get some scouting info, but this early on, you're just not gonna see anything. There wasn't any Zealots made, was there? Oh, there is one moving across the map. I don't think it's gonna get anything done though. We got that factory nearing completion. We'll see if Otto wants to go for machine shop first or whatever they're planning to do. Looking like the SV is going to start moving down pretty far away from having money for a CC, maybe a bunker or something instead. Yep, they did fix it, but no, I think that's reasonably paced.
I'm back. I know I put you on the spot there when so much was happening in this game. I hope you're able to keep up on your own.
Dude, you can do it with your eyes closed.
Did that Zealot even come in here?
No, it's kind of stopped in the middle of the map. It's not really trying to do anything. Otto is like, I think they're trying to set up for the CC, but don't want to build the bunker. Just kind of skip up a little
came
bit.
in at the perfect time. Nice micro so far. Well, he kind of untargets the dead Marine though. There we go. And yeah, honestly, Otto not microing his Marines super well here. Except 2 Marines, but the Zealot will fall. It's not a bad trade. If only this Goon headed straight for the Terran base, if it was there right now, it's doing a lot. And honestly, Otto's macro falling behind though while this is going on. Let's start that CC now.
Honestly, that's not bad though. Like the fact that your Zelt got far enough, it's like no CC even start. You're feeling pretty reasonable about that. Good range about halfway done now, and robotics on the way. Hey, you want to play a game where we guess the next stuff for the Protoss? So you think it's gonna be 2 more gateways and a 3rd Nexus and some observers?
Observatory, yes, and then yep, it will 100%. Then at 7:30, he puts down the Citadel and goes for Arbiters, right? But we still have the Terran to give us hope for something wacky. He's going to put down a starport, and he's going to go drop. That'd be exciting, right?
Yeah, I think
he's already getting siege as they say this, so probably not.
Yeah, I was like, maybe he's getting Vulture upgrades. He can hope for some kind of craziness, but if it's going to be siege mode like this, I'm just going to doubt it. That's going to be anything too exciting, but that's fine. Like I think a lot of the players in CPL probably get pretty decent at this matchup, at least the early steps, because unlike some of the the PVZ and some of these other things where it's just so much can happen early on, this matchup tends to play out very similarly because you don't see a lot of 2-fact, at least in Preseason.
I'd say Protoss has a lot of options for you know, like harassment and generally just like doing damage, not necessarily killing. Obviously they have options for killing, but in most games I would say Protoss is doing something that's going to do damage, like Reaver harass, DT, Zealots early on, that kind of thing is very common. Whereas for Protoss, it's usually a matter of like he's killing me or he's back in his base.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also just so much simpler. Is like if you go for harass, like yeah, it could work, but it could also go wrong. It's much harder for like taking a 4th base to go wrong and like getting stasis.
That is certainly true. Like I was saying, if they take the kill you option though, and they go for like a 2-fac, you know, Protoss has to be adept at stopping that, which is quite tricky.
Dude.
You know, it's one of those things where it's like, it Terran does to a Reaver, it's usually kind of like, well, if you just like scouted better and like, you know, knew the timings and stuff, you probably could defend this. Whereas 2-fac, I kind of feel like it's like, well, as long as your macro was good, it's like you just needed to micro better.
I love observer upgrades. I do. I don't like them early. You need so much. You need gas on so many things early. You can. This is a luxury you don't get to have.
He's not making any goons right now. Goon production has stopped.
Yeah, this is. I'm not thrilled with what we're seeing from Benno, but it's like it'll be good if
he's getting the movement upgrade first. Surely you get the speed up, the sight upgrade first.
Sure. So, I think as a style thing, I like the movement upgrade because it makes the observer basically keep up with the goods if you're clearing mines.
Okay. Because I would have thought the problem with movement is they can like overextend and run into turrets all the time and stuff, right? But the side upgrade, no matter what the observer is doing, it's always good for it. You know, that's my kind of take on that.
Well, realistically, it's 150 gas you cannot afford right now. Like this could have been, that could have been your Citadel. That could have been.
Why did they make it cost so much, man? Like that's just too expensive.
It's a really good upgrade, man. You get those fully upgraded observers, they're great.
I guess. Protoss just has to cost a lot. You know, when Blizzard made the game, they're like, all right, there's going to be this race. It's going to cost a lot more than everything else.
This 3rd Nexus is taking a long time to go down. Benno's had the probe there for a while. This is concerning because a lot of these timings that you're trying to go for when you're doing this kind of build, especially if it ends up being that 3-base Arbiter, you can't delay getting that 3rd base like too long. Otherwise, like Terra could just be in such a good spot macro-wise.
Oh, upgrades in chat. They have to make the observer upgrades expensive. They're almost as good as the scout upgrades.
Ah, man, I really just want scouts to be good. Next time I play,
the scout upgrades isn't expensive. Someone tell me, how much does scout sight range cost? There's no way it's more than 150, right? I think it's even like 100. Someone let me know.
Well, see, here's the problem you got to remember. For any time you're going to get any of the scout upgrades, you need a fleet beacon. So, like, just tack on a ton more everything to the freaking...
Yeah, that is the most expensive building in the game, right?
Yeah, is it? I don't know.
Yeah, 300, 200, what costs more than that? Obviously, there's units that cost more than that. But building-wise, I don't think so. Which, when you think about it, is kind of weird, actually. Shouldn't some buildings cost more? Like, I don't know.
I'm really not sure.
Definitely no building costs more than that, but I'm just thinking, like, why can't I build, like, an ion cannon for, like, 1,000 or something? I need that.
What, we playing tower defense now?
we're playing friggin' Command and Conquer, where you build the particle beam and, you know, launch it.
Oh, I played a lot.
Further, if Max gets one, why don't I get one, you know?
I played a lot of Red Alert. I know about those French.
yes, of course. For me, it was Generals is the one I played, which is a very weird one, by the way.
That one was fun, though. I had a good time with that.
It's so weird, though. It's kind of not okay, you know? But anyway, enough talk about other RTS games. If you're in StarCraft, which is totally normal game, Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. As I watch these units in the Terran main dancing around.
Yeah, no, this game's great. There's nothing wrong at all. We are seeing forge upgrades and the Templar Archives on the way. I don't think the Stargate's been started just yet, so if they're trying to get Arbiters, that's going to kind of throw things out. But with this many gateways, we might just be getting a little bit of the Gateway Man, which would be really fun. I think that's a good
Sure,
start.
I would like to see shuttle speed though, because the storm drops are always well worth it if you're just going Gateway Man. And look, like I'll be honest with you, I don't really like seeing Gateway Man. I think it's weak compared to Arbiter, but you never know if you make it work. You know,
I think all the strength you get out of Gateway Man is how good you are casting storms in battle.
Sure, I guess. But look, I've seen pros do it, and it's kind of like, wow, they're so much better at this than my ladder opponents, and they still lose. Like, you know, like against an equal skill Terran. You know, all other factors being equal, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I feel like Arbiter is just better. It has a lot more opportunities, a lot more utility. Like it's a very kind of like knife's edge thing to try and like trade with the Terran army with the Gateway Man style. If Terran's playing well.
So how do you feel about carriers?
I think they're pretty strong. It's just that, you know, there's always an inherent risk with going carrier because there's always a window where your opponent can punish. Like unless you're already ahead in some way, in which case it's a good time to go carriers, by the way. Unless you've already done damage to the Terran, it's like they're sitting scared in their base. There's always a possibility that Terran will come and punish you, and you'll lose the game because you're trying to spend all this money on carriers. And obviously, depending on the map, they can be weaker and stronger. But in general, I think they're a good option on par with Arbiters for sure. It just takes the game in a very different direction.
Yeah. So I am a little concerned looking at how Benno's playing because, like, you see how they made that move up to the 12 o'clock to check for a third. They have an observer in the base. They would have known if a CC was made and flown over. Like they see.
Well, they didn't fly down to see the 6 factory. 5 is a lot, but you could still be a 2-base powering style. 6 is definitely more aggressive. Now, this is kind of the modern style. You get your armory anyway, and you're getting your upgrades. So Terran can still just be powering up on 2 base before they take a third of this kind of style. But there's definitely potential for a push here from Terran. We can see they're actually up in supply right now. Oh, these goons getting caught is a big deal, actually. Okay, looks like one of them will make it. No, Vulture's out for blood. They do retreat. But yeah, the Terran army looks way stronger right now. Never mind how much of it is stuck in the main.
Yeah, I mean, but even if you move across here, this is like the one of the times that you gotta be so careful as Protoss because the Arbiter goes on the way. You're so far away from Arbiters, no stasis, and odds are if you're going for these kind of things, like you're skipping Storm, you're skipping all these other kind of upgrades. Yeah. Like you see, even the Zealot legs aren't done yet, so.
Oh gosh.
I don't want to go for a big attack here. Benno's got a hard time really trying to stop
has to bring his entire army though. There's so many units hanging out in the base. If he doesn't bring everything, he will still get crushed just by pure goons. Now it looks like he's starting to trickle it all out. And honestly, I don't see how Benno is going to resist this. That's a lot of stuff. And it's like only goons right now. Yes, Zealot Speed's about to finish, but what Zealots?
He's got a couple in that shuttle down at the bomb side. He's like got stuff in flank
position,
but the flank is so far away.
They got their own conveyance. They don't even need Zealot legs. So, but yeah, there's even a couple of Goliaths kind of ward that off as well. So, oh man, look how many tanks here. And you know, Otto doing a good job going this alternative path. Although then again, these goons get intercept some of these units. If 9s get laid, they might get away. That's a lot of tanks though.
It is a lot of tanks though. So you're gonna try to drop him in.
Siege?
There's no.
He's not even sieging, dude. He's just fighting it straight up, and I think he might still win. The goons at the back not taking part, unfortunately. Okay, siege is up now. One volley is gonna be so devastating. Does so much damage to the Protoss army. And yeah, pure goons against siege tanks. That is not going to work out, my friend. He does pull back. Now he has a bit of time to reduce more units to try again. He killed a little bit of the Terran army. He still has that flanking unit of goons. I don't want to say all hope is lost, but it's looking like a very dominant position for Terran right now. Although Terran's macro absolutely stalling behind this. Very few units coming out right now. Big bang for Terran. So if Protoss can just ward this off, they're in a good spot. Where is the Arbiter? Oh no, it just started. Man, you can kill like Protoss 3 times before this Arbiter's going to be finished.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard here. And I actually like what we're seeing, though. Benno is also getting the air upgrades, you know, that you can bait your opponent to make the wrong things. Even if you're not planning to go carriers, just...
Yeah, true. If you stand right now and you rally a whole bunch of Goliaths, it's going to make this push a lot weaker, absolutely.
Reinforcements coming through, including some of the boys. SV's going to go through, but like, Otto really get himself in a good spot. These mines could be the trouble, right? Like, if you
mines on your tanks, Protoss says thanks. And there are a bunch of Zealots out to potentially bait them. Now, he's moved forward a bit from some of them, but did not remove any of them. The goons at the back getting absolutely slaughtered, not attacking at the right time. Needs to attack with all his forces at once. These poor goons' whole positioning at the natural have been just slowly getting picked off. Now, this big Zealot force looks pretty scary, because I don't see any Vultures here at all. Okay, there's one Vulture, and the mine's away in the back. These Zealots could potentially actually do a lot here, but will Benno let them leave the base? It seems like the bouncers on the ramp are like, no, actually, we're going to stay here. Even as the Nexus is starting to get shelled here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be so difficult. Like you're saying, that armor takes forever to finish. It's still like pretty far away here.
Alright, here we go. Protoss coming down this ramp, has to trickle down a few units at a time, unfortunately. One Zealot still holding position, blocking everything, and Goons as well. So these Zealots really coming in like single file almost. Plenty of unsieged tanks doing good damage. Now, as you can see, the Zealots effective against tanks, but the way they came in was just not good. They needed to get down on the natural and get some space before they came in properly. Kills a few tanks, but it's just not enough. And now, these Goliaths here, takes out the shuttle. Otto's looking like he's going to smash through here. Just as the Arbiter finishes, the turrets will go down in the natural and provide detection here.
And more reinforcements on the way as well. The Arbiter's going to try, but there is, you know, a turret or a Goliath. It's brutal.
GG. Well, Flash himself said it takes 3 turrets to kill an Arbiter, so that prophecy was proved true.
That Flash guy, I guess he knows what he's talking about, huh?
Yeah, I think he's played StarCraft for a bit, I don't know.
I still laugh every time I think it's like when he first started the reputation that he's a cheesy player. That's the funniest thing in the world to me.
I mean, hey, did you see him, you know, who was he playing as Action? Where like 2 out of the best of 7 games he cheesed and barely won that set. Oh, and versus Rain as well, building factories in the middle of the map. He is pretty cheesy, honestly. He just can really macro when he needs to.
Yeah, like way back in the day, like he like only cheesed. It's like, which I guess like when you're like up and coming, that's what the team's gonna have you do.
Yeah, it seems like what people do, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that was really funny though. Action's so good. Like.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, late game, I think he's better than anyone else. Like even than Flash. Like once he gets into Hive and a bunch of bases, it's actually insane.
I wouldn't go that far, but it's like I feel like he's like the most criminally underrated player. Like one of them.
The problem is, I feel like compared to other pros, that's his only strength. But like, show me a player who's going to beat him when they go even into late game, and you know, Action has 4+ bases with Hive. I don't think anyone's really going to win unless they're already ahead. Like honestly, Action for tier 0. Yeah, that's right. Put Action in tier 0.
Yeah, let him play. We're not even gonna make him coach. Just like, come on, play with us. Give us some replays.
Honestly, that would be pretty sick.
It'd be such a good time.
Like destroy our tier 0 players. That'd be sick.
All right, we're going into the last game we got for the night, and we're closing it off with the best kind of mirror in the top right. In the brown Zerg, it's very. I knew you'd say something. In the bottom left, in the teal Zerg, it's RHOMMULUS ZVZ action pack to close us out.
Excellent. You know, TVT has more action in a sense because it goes longer. There's more units being made, more units dying. That's more action, right?
Yeah, well, no, that's like saying there's more action at the beach because there's erosion, and it just takes a long time.
Okay, alright. You got me there. Yeah, ZBZ is pretty hype. Very intense. May not last long at all. We'll see what builds they're going for. I mean, no 5 pools coming out, so I guess it's not going to be the shortest ZBZ. What is the shortest possible ZBZ? Like, where it actually makes sense to leave? Okay, say you went 12 hatch, or you're going 12 hatch, and you scout your opponent's 5 pool. Then you could potentially leave before anything even happens, right?
I mean, I don't think you scout at that point. Like, you're not going to scout.
Well, you know, depending on the map and where the Overlord goes, you never know. How long does it take this Overlord to get across? Honestly, it's surprisingly slow. It looks like it's only going to get there in like 3 minutes.
It's going to be quite a while, though. But without knowing where your opponent is, you know, that always throws a little wrench into this matchup. That's like, if you wanted to be aggressive, you don't have to scout and guess. You're not going to get unlucky with the position, so you can plan everything. Both players are going for the 9 pool. We'll see if either one wants to do the extractor trick. Doesn't seem like it. Or like if they're going to be, again, lair first or speed first. And there we go. RHOMMULUS wants to do it. VERYBERRY does not. They're just going to actually get the gas.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't mind what RHOMMULUS is doing here, going for the hatch. I think is an okay strategy, but I feel like, again, specifically what VERYBERRY's doing here, it's going to be disadvantaged. It's just like, it depends what your opponent is doing, right? And you don't know at this point. If he's up against, say, like a 12 pool or a 12 hatch even, I think this is okay for RHOMMULUS. But as it stands, I think VERYBERRY is just going to have the lead here. Whether he's totally on one base going for Muta or he's going for speed, I think it's just going to be better. We'll see.
I think what we're going to see from RHOMMULUS, though, is like a second hatch. Maybe in base, maybe like much more link focus play. I'm expecting VERYBERRY to be going for that.
That's a possibility. That's the awkward thing because you don't know what your opponent is doing. Do you risk putting it down low ground? And he does. But that's the thing. If it was 9 pool, he'd be absolutely fine here. The worst case scenario with RHOMMULUS doing this, I think, is probably 12 hatch because your opponent can kill your hatch with overwhelming numbers of links here, or 10 hatch, I suppose. Looks like he will put it down. But see, again, I don't dislike this strategy, but I feel like against what VERYBERRY has done, it's not going to be the best because it's not kind of fast enough of a hatch that you're going to have the link out really fast and have a big advantage trying to kill your opponent. At the same time, his tech is going to be so late. All right, well, These things might meet in the middle.
Yeah,
I guess
no,
not.
immediately turns around the moment they go underneath the Overlord. They see what's coming. Romulus wants to have that defender advantage. Protect the expansion. That's the big investment, so they don't want to be like throwing themselves into any kind of weird chaos. And it is lair after speed. So the stuff we're going to see from Berry will be pretty potent, but they're still way on the fast track to getting those.
He doesn't want to attack here, that's for sure. He needs to go home and defend. He can already see there's more lings. Why is he attacking? Run! Run! Okay, he does almost have speed, though, I suppose, so there's less risk to it than it seems because he can run away. But yeah, he needs to just turtle. He's going for this lair. He just needs to get his fire up, and then, you know, forcing his opponent to make a bunch of spores, he can get his own natural, and he'll be in good position. But if ling damage happens before then, he won't be in such a good position. And look at this. There's too many lings. He needs to get out of here. Because he doesn't know that his opponent doesn't have speed yet, you know. Which
well, I mean, he doesn't have to leave because he can leave whenever he wants. He's got the speed. And
what if his opponent finishes speed and suddenly like surrounds him a little bit? I don't know. It just makes me nervous.
Well, it's hard to get this around if you both have speed and you're paying a lot of attention. We see like.
But what if he's not paying a lot of attention though? That's the thing.
Yo, in the mid. Oh, that was almost sick. No, this is a great surround. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, that was such a good engagement for Very. Wow. Okay, he's just gonna kill this, I guess. Well, it shows me for telling him he should have gone home.
Terran players tell third players how to play ZVZ.
Yeah, Terran player, like, you're doing ZVZ wrong. Stop. How dare you?
No,
like
no guys, don't go Hydras.
Yeah, that's right. Don't. But yeah, I think
it's too many. Yeah, Sunkers are never gonna finish the time. You know, you're not.
That's not a Sunken at the bottom, my friend. That is a Spire. Wait, no, my bad.
That's yeah, he's gonna have a lair.
No, what am I saying? I was looking at the production tab. I'm like, oh yeah, no, he's making a Spire. No, he doesn't even have a lair. What am I saying? But yeah, no, this is a disaster. Romulus going to get torn apart just by these lings, and like the Spire is actually on the way for Very.
Yeah,
he's trying to micro these drones, but what hope do they have? And that's it. I see done by Very. Oh, nice freeze frame there of a drone being disassembled. You see that?
Yeah, I do. That's fucking sick. All right. So, not quite the epic game I was hoping it would be, but that's okay. Oh man, still we had some fun games. So actually, pretty impressive the level of play we saw, especially from Group 17, where I don't know why that's happening.
Be promoted. Very getting promoted. Don't worry, Mana Dog. He's too good. 100%.
And what we're doing for tonight, as I've pitched before, this weekend there's stuff. There's a coach show match. There's a team reveal stream. Be in the Discord. You know the details. Blind, thanks for casting with me, buddy.
No worries. Thanks for hosting it, picking out all those replays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Little we had looking at you people in Group 14.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna be casting preseason for a while because we got a little bit of a break before the season starts. So, if you didn't upload your replays yet, maybe you should consider doing it. If for some freaking reason you haven't. But
NCX just summed up my casting in one sentence. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's why I said it was a Spire. I was just seeing if I could pull it off.
I mean, we miss 100% of the shots we do take. We just run 4 seconds later. But that sounds good. We're going to host someone up, so you guys take it easy. See you this weekend. You have no excuses not to be around. And have a good night.
That's right. I better not hear any whining about like jobs or like family. You know, your son's being born. What?
Whoa.
It's StarCraft we're talking about. Don't be ridiculous.
Whoa. Alright, the Blime's very fierce. Don't be on his team. He's going to destroy you. Right, take it easy.